24 tracks, 401 corners ranked. They said it couldn't be done. They said it shouldn't be done. They might have a point on that second one, but today we are ranking every single corner on the 2025 Formula One calendar. You may have seen videos where people rank all the different tracks in Formula One. You may have even seen videos of drivers talking about their favorite corner sequences or piecing together their ideal track. But this isn't good enough. This doesn't tell us enough about these tracks, what makes them great. We need to go deeper. We need to go deeper. In front of me, I have 401 little cards of every single corner in Formula One. And we're going to be putting all of them up, well, on this tier list, but we need to make it into a tier list first. When I started going through this thing, I kind of realized the scale of what this video would be. This is far too much for just a tier list on a screen. I had to go bigger, so I've taken down all of the pictures from this wall. Do not tell my girlfriend. We are going to transform this entire room into a tier list to once and for all figure out the best corners in Formula One. Now, I'm not going to be ranking them, number one, number two. That's insane. That's insane even for me. We are going with categories. Let's get them on the wall, starting with iconic. This is obviously your very top tier, the fundamental corners that make up the very nature of Formula One. There's not going to be many of these. This is reserved for the greatest of all time. Just below that, we of course have bangers. These are tracks that are almost great but haven't quite ascended into GOAT status. But still, don't get me wrong, excellent corners. This is the point where I realize I didn't measure anything, so I'm just kind of hoping that these all fit. Next up, we have enjoyable, not quite bangers, but still good corners. Nobody complains about these corners. They're still fun to drive, but they're not big time bangers. And I should probably mention while I'm doing this, how we're ranking these corners. And really it's going to be a mix of all different stuff. It's going to be feel of the corners when driving them. In a sim, I should add, I have never driven a Formula One car around any of these in real life. It's how good they are to watch as a fan watching Formula One on the weekends. It's how much contribution they have into the storyline of a race. It's history at these corners, how many moments have they had. And it's just overall kind of vibes, Speaking of, our next category is corners without vibe, mid. I would expect the average corner in Formula One to fall into one of these categories, somewhere between enjoyable and mid. Not everyone can be a banger. Someone has to be bog standard average. They're going in mid. And then below mid, we have a category that no one wants to be in, but someone is gonna be ew. I don't expect there to be many corners down in ew, but I think you can think of a few that will be. These are corners that should not be there. Even mid corners, there's a place. As I said, not everyone can be the greatest of all time. Sometimes you just need a corner to link up to other good corners. It's fine to have mid corners. We don't begrudge these. You, on the other hand, you have failed as a track designer if you make one of these. I think that makes quite a nice 6 foot tall tier list. I maybe could have done the entire pieces of paper in color, but then again, printer ink is expensive. This has already set me back multiple ink cartridges. Thank you, Canon, for not putting more ink in the cartridges. £50 for a tiny dribble of ink. Very cool. So I would love to have more color up here, but you can see them. You can see them, it'll be fine. You just put your face closer to the screen, you'll be all right. We're gonna go through this thing in calendar order, which of course means we start, and I haven't put them in calendar order down here, we start with Albert Park, and specifically Albert Park Turn 1. Now, it's a decent corner. As I said, this is based on more than just racing lines, it's based on storylines, it's based on, overall fun, history at the corner. Albert Park Turn 1 obviously has a lot of history. For a very long time, this was the first corner of the entire year. Therefore, there's quite a number of start of career crashes down at this corner. Think Isaac Hadjar. Well, I guess technically that was before the race and more like turn 2. Anyway, enough waffling. We need to get through this. Albert Park Turn 1, I'm gonna stick it in enjoyable, I think. We then move on to Albert Park Turn 2. Once again, it's basically the exit of Turn 1, but as a combo, it makes a nice corner thing, so I'm thinking enjoyable. This is gonna take a lot longer than I thought. Albert Park Turn 3, you obviously have a rundown then into the next kind of heavy braking zone, and I'm gonna say this is a mid corner. This is kind of like a nasty profile on this corner. Well, not nasty, but it's not as smooth, it's not as flowing as the other ones. You get some action down here, you get some people colliding, but Turn 4 on the other hand, back up to enjoyable. I quite like turn 4. Obviously the swing round, there's a car park on the outside. It's back up to some nice flow. I don't mind it. Turn 5, same sort of thing. Flick it to the right. It's a decent corner. It kind of sets up this bit of a run up through turn 6, turn 7, so it's an important one to get right, and it's nice and fast. I like it. We then get to this sort of right-left flick of turns 6 and 7. 6 is kind of an off-throttle flick to the right. 7 is then just basically some curbs on the left-hand side, which you have to be careful on, Fernando Alonso. It's a tricky corner, it's a very fast corner. I'm gonna say this is gonna be our very first banger of the video. Both of these, they come as a combo. I don't mind them. Lovely, lovely stuff. Not iconic, you have to do more than that to be iconic, but these are excellent corners. They make they change up some stuff in the race by crashing some drivers out. You've got to be quick through here. It's a like seat of the pants moment. Lovely. Brings us straight into turn 8, which is basically just an average right-hander. It's connecting up, going around the top of the lake, mid. Albert Park obviously now has less corners than it used to. The hard flicks left and right are now turns 9 and 10. Bangers. Both of these. Well, actually, I'm going to say turn 9 is a banger, the flick into the left. Turn 10 is the exit of that thing. I'm just going to say enjoyable. It's okay, but in isolation, is it as good as the left-hander? I don't think so. So banger for 9, enjoyable for 10. And moving on, turn 11, heavy braking zone once more. It's mid. You've got no grip anymore at this point, so cars can't push through here. You would think it would be an overtaking opportunity, but not really, I would say. It's not great. Turn 12, on the other hand, a flick to the right. I think it's enjoyable, it's nice, it's not very impactful because once again, the cars are very separated at this point. There's not really any fighting through there, but it's fine. Then we have the left-hander, turn 13, mid. And the final right-hander, it's a long, swing round to the right, got to hold on to the tyres as you get through, get a good run down the main straight. You can't follow through there though. It kind of kills off any fights down into turn 1, mid, both of these. And that brings us to the end of our first track. 23 tracks to go. You know what? No, it's fine. It's fine. We're 1, 2, no, we're almost 4% the way there. Almost 4%. That's so many percentage points. I have got this in the bag. As I said, people would have said this video was crazy. We've been going for what, a couple of minutes? I am not crazy. I see myself somewhat of an Icarus figure. I've built my wings and now I'm soaring through the sky. Didn't have time to finish that story, but I can only assume that he's heralded as some kind of hero for inventing flight back in Greek times. I'm sure that's what happens. Anyway, we continue my Icarus journey with Shanghai. Shanghai International, obviously the home of the Chinese Grand Prix. As I record this, that has just happened a couple of days ago. I like the Shanghai International. The actual track layout is based on the character Shang, but that's what I'm told anyway. And I think sometimes giving yourself like a limitation when designing a track or anything else can make it a lot better. If you give someone just an open piece of land and say, design a track, completely freeform, they often think about it too much, they add in some weird stuff, it's actually not very fun. This one, because of these restrictions, I think has made something very interesting. Obviously some very memorable bits around here, the turn 1, 2, 3 complex, the snail, and the one by the back straight as well. Interesting pieces of corner design. And actually, talking about turn 1, I'm going to say this is a banger corner. You flick it in after the home straight. I like it. Bosh. We then go straight into turn 2, which in some ways is a continuation of the same corner, but I will allow it to have 2 corner numbers. You also wind down, ease off throttle, gradually getting on the steering input. It's a banger as well. This is a very unique piece of track design, or at least it was at the time they made it. I think it absolutely slaps. Turn 3 is then the left-hander to come out of that complex. Mid. This shit sucks. It's too close to turn 2, it funnels the cars together, you can get side by side, but not really. This is arse, man. It's not quite ooh, but it is mid. We then get down to turn 4, which basically is just the exit from turn 3. Once again, it is a different corner, but sort of, it's all one big left-hander. This is mid as well. Turn 5 is just a kink to the left as you then go down a bit of a straight into the hairpin, mid. Turn 6 on the other hand, I quite like it, enjoyable corner. We then come down to turn 7. This is really the start of the very high speed edge of grip section in the middle of Shanghai. This absolutely slaps. It's an excellent separator in qualifying. It's just good fun. It's a challenge all throughout any kind of race. Excellent stuff. Same thing goes for turn 8, the right-hander that follows it. Maybe not quite as fun as turn 7, but as a complex, excellent piece of track design. Turn 9 is then a whip round to the left-hand side. Starts this sketchy double apex left. Banger. I'm gonna say banger once more. You may then think that turn 10, the second part of the double left with turn 9, is also a banger, but actually turn 10 is getting out of this section. You've ridden over the curbs there, maybe got a bit squirmy. This is kind of just like, this is just a bog standard corner. I'm gonna say mid, enjoyable. I'm gonna say mid. No, I guess that's harsh actually. Turn 9 wouldn't be as good as it is if you didn't have turn 10. Enjoyable. I'll stick it in enjoyable, but only because of what sits around it. On its own, not fantastic, but corners don't exist on their own. They're part of a track. Otherwise, they would just be. I mean, I guess you would still call them a corner, but you wouldn't have a racetrack. That was meant to get philosophical. It didn't do that. Let's just move on. Turn 11, the left-hander to go into the second snail of Shanghai. Mid. This shit is mid. And then turn 12, same sort of thing. It gets better as you start to wind through, but actually the opening part of this snail, because it's going from tight to wide, not as good. Turn 13, on the other hand, this is a bit more tricky. This is obviously the second part of the second snail. You have to get more on the throttle. It's very important for you to run down this enormous back straight. It's a consequential corner. It doesn't feel nice when you play it like in the F1 games, and it doesn't look all that interesting to watch a car do it, but it is very important. For that reason only, I'm going to say enjoyable. It leads us down this major back straight and into quite a hefty hairpin down at the bottom. And I'm going to say, just for its impact on races here in China, this is a banger corner. It's a simple one, but sometimes you don't need to do all that much. Just the basic stuff is fine. This is a banger. Is it fun to drive a hairpin? Not necessarily, that's subjective, but probably most of you said no, but it's very important to the overall flow of the track. Turn 15 on the other hand, what turn? What turn? This is officially where turn 15 is marked, and I should say that I'm basing all of this off the official track maps that you can find on Formula1.com. Turn 15? Where? Is this turn 15 in the room with us? And this really brings me on to a point that we were going to have to cover at some point in this video, so we may as well get it out of the way sooner rather than later. Formula 1 corner inflation, or the other way around, I guess. Why do so many of these tracks have fake corners marked on them? There's some famous examples, which we're going to come up to soon. This is another one of them. There's no corner here. This is just, what, some exit curbs on the exit of the hairpin. Yeah, there's a hairpin and then it kinks slightly further to the right, but that's just still part of the hairpin. You're still getting on throttle. It's the same corner. It's the same corner. For this reason, I'm adding another category to the tier list. Not a corner. Doesn't get a fancy font, doesn't get a drop shadow, because it's not in the tier list, it is outside of it. This is basically a disqualification. These corners are not corners. Stop giving them numbers, they're not corners. There's gonna be more than you might think down in this category, but our first offender has to be China turn 15. It's just some curbs. It's just some curbs on the exit of a hairpin. Just let it be what it is. It's fine to have some curbs. It's okay to have some curbs. I'm not saying you shouldn't have them. They don't need a number. What is this with like stat padding? Oh, we've got so many corners here in China. No, you don't. No, you don't. And that's fine. No one likes a pretender, all right? China turn 15, our very first entry, right down here. Go and think about what you've done. We then have one final corner here in China, turn 16. It's a flick to the left, very sketchy. Now it's got gravel on the outside. This is a banger corner. I can't lie to you. This is an excellent piece of track design. It's incredibly tricky. That comes across when watching it on TV. People make quite a lot of mistakes here, so it's very consequential to the races. Love to see it. Banger corner. Thank you, Shanghai. That thoroughly deserves a number. See? It wasn't that hard, was it? Oh, I just realized we finished 2 tracks and I completely forgot to add my mood lighting. Let's get a bit of this in there. Oh, red. Ooh, nice. Put that down there. Oh, that looks dramatic now, doesn't it? Look at that. Not gonna lie, at this point in time, I'm feeling a little manic, a little hot and bothered. We've done 2 tracks. We keep going. We keep pushing. I'm an athlete, baby. I can do this. 22 tracks to go. You better lock in. People might have thought this was a joke video. This is not a joke video. This is a serious video. We are doing all 24 tracks here. Get yourself comfortable. Stay hydrated. That's what I'm doing. No one ever said this was going to be easy, but this is important science. The best things in life do not come for free. The best things in life take hours and hours off your life. Remember that. It's meant to be hard, Okay, after China, our next track is of course Suzuka, baby. It's the Japanese Grand Prix. This is a solid track. But as I realised, just because something is a banger track doesn't mean that every single corner is a banger. It's interesting to see what makes up good and bad tracks. You know, are the worst tracks in Formula 1 all mid and ooh, or do they still have some bangers? And at the same time, are the iconic, you know, classic tracks, are they all bangers? Or do they have some mid stuff in there too? I think you'll be surprised. I am waffling. Let's get on. Where's it gone? To Suzuka. We obviously start with turn 1, which is sometimes on track maps labelled with the name first corner. Just a little note from me on, you know, naming conventions. The point of giving a corner an official name, let's say Cops at Silverstone, it makes it memorable because otherwise, you know, turn 10, it can be hard to picture, particularly for a newer fan, but giving them names, it adds a bit of character to a place. Fair enough. If the name you're going to give it is first corner, how is that different? How is that different than calling it turn 1? Like, actually, like, what is the point? We don't call it last corner. Wait, the last corner Suzuka's not called last corner, is it? No, it's not, thank God. Why have you called it first corner Suzuka, or Japanese fans, or racing? What are you doing? Anyway, you will notice on some of these that I do have corner names. I guess we haven't had any corner names so far. It's kind of surprising that Albert Park doesn't have any, but some of these things we do have corner names down at the bottom. Some conventions with these, if it's a group, let's say Ascari at Monza, that's obviously multiple corners, and so I've labelled them with numbers. So actually first corner is basically 2 corners at Suzuka, so we have first 1 and first 2. That's confusing. And then, you know, some corners have multiple names. There's multiple popular names for some places, particularly at the older tracks. Spa comes to mind, where almost every corner has multiple popular names. But then again, sometimes the names are just different in different languages. They might be different in like different racing series, depending on the history. I have put in 1 name down for each of these corners, apart from a couple of them at places like Spa, where 2 names are very popular. If you call a corner by a different name to the one that's listed down here, I don't care. It's just for general information. I don't mind. Say, instead of Puon, you call it Jeffrey. Good for you. Great. That's fantastic. I don't need angry comments. Most people call it Puon, all right? That's just how it goes. And even if you think that's not the popular name, you're wrong. We have to remember on this channel, my opinion is always the best opinion. Anyway, turn 1 at Suzuka, it's a banger. It's a heavy right-hander, you go in relatively fast. It's nice, obviously tons of history down here. Solid corner. Turn 2 is kind of just the exit, the same thing. I was considering between banger and enjoyable, because really turn 1 is where the action happens. But you know, it's still a great corner, good flow. And we do love flow around here, so that's going in banger as well. Turn 3 is then the start of the S's complex. It's just called S's. It's a banger. Actually, is it a banger? This could be controversial, but I'm going to say the S's at Suzuka really do wind up. And maybe the second, like the third and fourth bit of the S's is the best bit. I'm going to say that turn 3 and turn 4 here, the first left-right of the S's, they're enjoyable. They're enjoyable. You know, not everything can be a banger. Enjoyable is still a very good mark. It's a passing grade. Don't get me wrong. Oh, the blue tag. It's just enjoyable though, not a banger. And the same thing for turn 4. But never fear, do not order my execution just yet. Turn 5, the start of the second left-right of the S's, this is a banger. Along with turn 6, this is really the good part of these S's. It's a strong start for Suzuka, 4 bangers, 2 enjoyables. Is it going to get any worse? No. Dunlop corner, heavy left-hander over a hill. This is also a banger. This is a fantastic corner just in every sense of the word. I wouldn't say quite iconic. It's on the cusp. We are on the cusp. We are right on the edge. You could say we're edging, but we're not quite an iconic yet until we get to Degner 1. Suzuka turn 8, the first Degner corner. This is our first iconic corner of the video. Sound the alarms. Actually, I don't have an alarm. This is just a worldy corner. Fast right-hander, the perils, oh my God, that's so high up. The perils there, I can just go in the middle. There's not going to be that many of these. The perils there, imperative for your lap time. It's tricky, and really any vehicle, including Formula 1, not just an easy flat like so many corners are. iconic corner. And also, what a name, Degner? That's cool as hell. Turn 9 is therefore Degner 2, the second part of this double right-hander. The opening is iconic, and so of course, Degner 2. Hear me out. Degner 1's the good part. Degner 1 is the best part of this. And so I'm not gonna put it in banger. I am gonna put it in banger. Not iconic. I can't be filling out the iconic category. It has to be special. I have to reserve it. And realistically, if we split it in half, which is the best part of Degner? It's Degner 1. Okay? Okay. Glad we all agree. We then come to Suzuka Turn 10, which is just basically a right-hand kink before the hairpin. Yeah, now that's kind of mid. The hairpin is enjoyable. You know, it adds a lot to the lap. It's an iconic part of Suzuka. It's hard. It's hard for a hairpin to go any higher. But Turn 10 is an arse corner. Like, it just kind of is there, right? It's just kind of there. It has to be. So, fair enough. Did you have to give it a corner number? Maybe not. I will accept that it's a corner, unlike China Turn 15, but it's no one's favorite corner, is it? No one's like, oh my god, Suzuka Turn 10 is easily the best part of that track. It's mid. It's mid, alright. You know what's not mid? 200R. Turn 12. Not the most famous of the R corners. It's obviously a little bit overshadowed. This is a banger corner. Once again, kind of over a crest going into a downhill. Really solid corner. Lovely setup for the spoon. And speaking of the spoon, Turn 13 and Turn 14 that make up the spoon corner, these are iconic. These are fantastic corners. Tilka Designs, I hope you're taking note. Anyone can do a long left-hander, but something about the elevation changes here, the camber changes, the entry speed, it's just perfect. Spoon corner at Suzuka, 2 corner numbers, and both of them perfect. I know I said we can't fill out this iconic corner category too much, but these ones deserve it. And then we come to a little corner that you might not have heard of. 130R. Enough said. We then come down to the chicane at the end of the lap in Suzuka. It is actually known as the Casio chicane, which is relatively well known, but I think some newer fans may not know that. The entry to this, certainly, this is a banger. Obviously, you come through 130R if you're managing to follow with the car ahead. It's a big balls maneuver, and so if you are close enough to make a send here, my god, it's a hell of a send. We have tons of story down at this corner. It's a banger for the storylines alone. The second part of that, it's alright. I'm going to say Turn 17 is not mid, because a chicane does not a chicane make if it only has one corner. Hopefully that made sense. So it adds to the allure of Turn 16. So it's doing a solid. It's playing a supporting role to Turn 16. On its own, not as good as Turn 16, but still a thoroughly enjoyable corner. I'm going to say the same thing for Turn 18 as well. It's just a heavy right-hander to come down onto the pit straight Suzuka. It's not iconic. It's nothing crazy special, but it's nice. It's a nice corner, so I can go enjoyable as well. And we are done with Suzuka. 1/8 of the way there. It's going well. Oh my god, I am sweating. It is hot in here, I can't lie. With the lights, with the camera, with the reaching up and the bending down. It's a lot, but you know, I'm an athlete. I'm in peak physical condition. No comments on that one, please. I'm gonna get through this. Up next is, of course, the Bahrain International. For a little while was the opening track of the calendar. Now it's track number 4. That's fine. I quite like the Bahrain International. It's the classic layout of just long straight and then some stuff up above it, which we will see again in a couple other tracks. But it's a good execution of that. Didn't mind it as a season opener. Bit out of the way. Doesn't really have the crowd atmosphere that some places do, but I like Bahrain. Turn 1 of Bahrain. Banger corner. Obviously, it's a long straight, it's a heavy braking zone, but also, I quite like the profiling of this. I just think it's nice. I like driving this place in the sim, mind you. Once again, never driven a Formula 1 car. Don't expect to get that opportunity in my lifetime, but I like it. I like it. Turn 2 is the follow-on to that, and it's part of what makes Turn 1 great. So I'm going to say this is a banger as well. These are a good sequence of corners. We then come to Turn 3. It's still nice, but it's kind of tailing off a bit. It's just like a curb on the right that you have to navigate to onto the straight. I'm gonna say enjoyable, and the same for Turn 4. You can get some passes down into here, but as corner profiling goes, It's nothing special, so enjoyable for both of these. We then come down to Bahrain turn 5. It's just a flick to the left to set up the heavy turn 6. It's mid. You know, on its own, this would be a garbage corner, but it sets up another enjoyable corner. And actually, no, you know what? It sets up a banger corner. Turn 6 is a banger. Turn 5 kind of has to be there. It's there out of necessity. But in isolation as its own corner, yeah, nah, it's not great. Turn 7, following turn 6 is the left-hander. Not quite as good though, certainly not a banger, but I will say enjoyable. We then come down to Bahrain turn 8. It's a right-hander. It's very awkward, slightly off camber, with some weird elevation changes. It's kind of mid. I don't really like it. You can't get side by side through there. It's just an awkward corner in every sense of the word. Kind of breaks up the flow in the middle of this lap a little bit. Not really a fan of turn 8. This one's mid. Turn 9, banger. Along with turn 10, this is obviously the famous sketchy left-hander in the middle of Bahrain. You're quite a lot of steering lock on, and you also have to be heavy on the brakes. Not easy to do in any vehicle, let alone a Formula 1 car. This makes a very fun piece of corner. I like 9, 10 a lot. I'm going to put these both up in a banger. We then come to turn 11 after the bit of a back straight in the middle of Bahrain. It's a nice long left-hander. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting one to try and keep your tyres in. I'm going to say enjoyable. Same thing for turn 12, the right-hander. Enjoyable. Turn 13, the big right-hander onto the final straight. I'm going to say enjoyable. It's enjoyable. This one's like a low enjoyable. This one's at like bottom of enjoyable, top of mid, but I'm going to say enjoyable. And then, of course, we come to the final two corners of the Bahrain International Circuit. Turns 14 and 15, double right-hander, very sketchy, slight bit of a downhill, I want to say, so you get some interesting camber changes. You have to be very aggressive on the apex on the inside. This is a banger. You can make an argument this is just one corner, but I will allow it is a double apex, right? This is a banger. I've always said I like the Bahrain International Circuit. Like, as a race, it's not the most popular. I think mainly just geographically, because it's not anywhere really. Like, it doesn't have that many people going to watch. It only has, what, one grandstand? As a race, yeah, it's not got the best vibes, but as a track, I think it's a great track. I've maintained this for a very long time. I like the Bahrain International. And as you can see from the leaderboard, hopefully you can see this, it scores solidly. It's got quite a number of bangers. I don't hate that. Very heavy on the Suzuka up here in banger. I think that surprises no one, but a really good showing from Bahrain. 7 corners in banger for Bahrain. Let's give a round of applause for whoever designed this. I am now looking at this as we are 4 tracks in, 1/6 of the way through. I think I might be running out of warp. Once again, I didn't measure. I kind of just looked at it and I was like, yeah, that'll probably fit. If you're looking at this and thinking I've been too nice, like I'm being too positive in this ranking, don't worry. Do not worry. I maintain that we start the calendar in Formula 1 with some very good tracks, with some very good corners. So if you think that I'm underutilizing the mid and U sections of the tier list, no. we got some garbage coming up. Speaking of garbage, the next up is Jeddah Corniche, the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Now, gotta cover something here. The track designers and the organizers for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix at the Jeddah Corniche circuit would have you believe that Jeddah has 27 corners. 27 corners. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't have anywhere near that many corners. So it's a very good thing we have a category specifically for that. I could have honestly just called this category Jeddah Corniche. There's so many corners around here. Like, look at this thing. Realistically, this is 2 straights with a hairpin at either end. This is Avis. You have made Avis in the Middle East. But let's see, does it have any good corners? I will say, the opening to the lap in Jeddah is a little chicane. It starts with this tight left-hander. I'm going to say it's enjoyable. Saudi Arabia turn 1, you get cars coming together at this point. It's nicely timed in the straight, such that people can actually catch up coming into here. I think it's all right. Turn 2, on the other hand, is the exit of that chicane. No, the profiling of this is nasty. It is way too tight, particularly on exit. Almost impossible for cars to get side by side. And so if you like made the lunge down into turn 1, you have taken the position. You cannot carry on fighting. That is the cardinal sin of the second half of a chicane. You have to allow the cars to carry on fighting. If it forces them to come out of their single file, that is a garbage corner. Turn 2, you're going down an ooh. But turn 1's enjoyable. This is our first ooh of the tier list. What an honor for the Jeddah Corniche. Can we say that we're surprised? No. Just think about what you've done. Whoever designed this thing, just think about what you've done. Turn 3. You might be thinking, what is turn 3 at Jeddah? There's a run down and a hard left-hander. No. Turn 3 is the exit of turn 2. Technically, it's enough to be considered a corner, but like, just draw a straight line for once in your life, Jeddah. I thought Saudi Arabia loved straights. Apparently not, looking at Jeddah. It's not quite ooh, but it's certainly a solid mid. Like, you know, you can get some interesting racing lines through turn 3, fair enough, I will concede that, but it's nowhere near a nice corner. Turn 4 is then a hard left-hander, kind of flick it through close to the wall on the left-hand side. It's mid. You know, we've got hard left flicks close to walls. We have those at home. We didn't need another one. It's a mid corner. Turn 5, on the other hand, is then a flick to the right, really holding the car in there, quite a high-speed corner. I'm gonna say turn 5 is enjoyable. And actually, you know what? I'm gonna say turn 6 is enjoyable as well. We've got some nice speed at this point. We've actually got some nice flow. Jeddah does have some nice flow once you get through all the chicanes and stuff. It's not terrible, and so I'm gonna say enjoyable for both of these. Lovely stuff. And then we come to the double left-hander. No, we then have turn 7, which is the left hand into the double right-hander. Actually, you know what? It's got nice flow. I'm gonna say it's enjoyable again. And the same thing for turn 8. It's double right-hander. It's a sketchy corner. It's very fast. Enjoyable. Both of these. The second part of that double right-hander, turn 9, and you may be struggling to tell which corner is which from these. Like, they're so close together. They're so close together. The circle is sized accurately, so for like a normal track, let's say, I don't know, Spain, you can tell which corner is which. You have no idea which one the circle is pointing to here. Ludicrous stuff. Anyway, turn 9 is the second part of the right-hander. It's mid. Turn 10 is then a flick to the left to get into a bit of a run down into like the spoon at the like first end of the long thing. It's very forgettable. It's mid as well. It's nothing special. Turn 11. Oh God, I thought turn 11 was a spoon cut. There's another one? There's another one? Are you serious? This has to be... Actually, wait, turn 11 is like a hefty right-hander. Actually, no, I want to say that turn 10 is a left, and then turn 11, you have to like swap the weight of the car, and it's a right-hander, but on the limited grip. Actually, I'm going to say this is an enjoyable corner. Maybe a bit out of left field, that one, but you know, credit where credit's due. The flow kind of builds up again, and we get down then into... What is this? I keep picking these up thinking they're going to be the spoon cut. This is not a corner. Look at this. Look at the map. Look at the map. Where's the corner? We just had turn 11, which, in case you don't remember, is that kink. It's the same one. It's the same one. Not a corner. This is Jeddah's first entry into the not a corner category. I'm confident it won't be the last. All right, finally. Turn 13 is the spoon down at the bottom of Jeddah. And I will say, credit where credit's due, this is a banger corner. It's really nicely profiled. You fling the car in, like you can hold some speed through there, but it's not necessarily easy. I think it's great. Jeddah's first banger. Is it Jeddah's only banger? We shall see. This is a great corner. I love a spoon. I love a spoon. Little spoon normally for me, but I do love a spoon. We then get into a long string in Jeddah. Turn 14, what is that? Mid. Turn 15, what is that? Mid. Turn 16, what is that? Mid. Turn 17, what is that? Mid. You're testing my patience here, Jeddah. You have already got to a corner count higher than the average corner, than the average track. Like, I'm pretty sure the average track has like, what, 16 corners, 15 corners? You're already on 17, and you're just stat padding. I guess you wanted to say it's the most corners ever, but are they the best corners ever? Clearly not. You're padding stats. I get why you've done it. You want to, you know, a sock in the underwear. I understand. You're insecure. You're insecure about your corners, Jeddah. This is not the way to fix that. I will concede at least, though, that those things They were corners. We then get into a section of Jeddah that is basically a straight, but it's like a windy straight. There is nothing in this next section that phases a Formula 1 car. Turn 18 is just a slight bend in a straight, not a corner. Turn 19, another slight bend in a straight, not a corner. Turn 20, another bend in a straight. You're never gonna guess what I'm gonna say, not a corner. And there's another one, turn 21. We go to the right again. Oh great, it's just a bend. It's just a bend. It's not a corner. Watch a Formula 1 car do this. They are flat. They're barely even touching the steering wheel. Like you put a camber on it so they can just ride through there with the slope of the track. It's not a corner. Stop giving the numbers. You could go straight from 17 to 22 here. Get your fake corners out of my face. Stop pushing them on us. We have enough corners, Formula 1. Clearly, we have enough corners. We don't need more. Stop it. Just, like, do you earn money per number that you put on these track maps? What's the point? What is honestly the point? Anyway, we now come down to some stuff which is actually corners. I will admit there are more corners in Jeddah. This is what I like to call the murder section of Jeddah. It's the heavy left-hander into a right-hand kink with just a wall up ahead. I think it was Lance Stroll tested this out last year. If you get this wrong, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have a really bad day. But that being said, turn 22, this heavy left, yeah, it's enjoyable. It is enjoyable. Turn 23, on the other hand, ew, enjoyable, disgusting. Turn 24 is then just a very generic right to get onto the, I'd say the final straight, but the second last straight. The bit with the Verstappen Hamilton like braking debacle. It's just a right-hander to get onto that. It's very generic. It's going in mid. And then we don't get to the final hairpin. No, we've got two more corners before then. Turn 22, not a corner. Turn 23, not a corner. Oh, I read the numbers wrong because I think I'm starting to dissociate, I believe, but they are 25 and 26. The point remains. The point remains. Let me, give me this. Not a corner, no corners. Real impressive, Jeddah. You've now got what? Seven fake corners. Are you happy with yourself? Most tracks don't even have one. China had one. You've got 7, Jeddah. Just have a think about what you're doing with your life. We have one more actual corner here at Jeddah. It's labeled correctly, turn 27. It's the final hairpin. Is it as fine as the spoon at the other end? No. Is it even enjoyable? I would argue no. Like some stuff happens here because cars get alongside on this bendy straight here. But in isolation, is it a nice corner? It's very, your tires are dead. There's no grip. It tightens on exit, so you can't even fling it through nicely. You have to be like really coming off the speed. Horrible flow. It's going in mid, and that really brings to a close an impressively bad run of form from Jeddah. What do we got? 7 fake corners, 9 mid corners. 7 enjoyables and actually 1 banger. you gotta be averaging somewhere around here to have a good track. That's not good, Jeddah. That is not good. Anyway, after Jeddah, we head to a track which has less corners, but that's not really saying much because Jeddah does have the most by quite a margin. Miami. I don't know why I said it like that. It's the Miami International Autodrome, is the technical name of this place, sometimes referred to as the Miami Gardens. It's the track around the Hard Rock Stadium. It doesn't start off great for Miami. Turn 1 is a very generic right-hander. This is really the epitome of mid right here. It's not even, we don't even let the pit straight go on long enough for cars to properly fight, so you never really get any action down here. And then the profiling of the corner is nothing special. This is mid. This is mid if I've ever seen it. Turn 2 is then a left-hander. You kind of flick it through. The flow is nicer. It's nicer than 1. But that's like saying, I don't know, eating plain bread is nicer than gravel. Like, yeah, sure, but it's not, it's still not enjoyable. I actually quite like plain bread. I'm a bread fan. Is that relevant to this video? No, probably not. Anyway, it's still mid. It's a better mid, but it's mid nonetheless. Turn 3 is then a long right-hander. I'm kind of torn on this one between mid and enjoyable. I do quite like the flow through here, but I just think it's too generic. It's too generic. Where's the culture, Miami? It's such a vibrant city. You know, it's a colorful place. You make the drivers wear helmets on the podium. Where's the culture on the track? No, I'm gonna go mid. I'm gonna go mid for turn 3. Yeah, actually, turn 4, getting into really the mouth of the Gator, or like I guess the underside of his nose, like kind of up in here. It's this bit, this bit of the Gator. It's like a heavier left. You really got to like throw it in. I'm gonna say actually, the flow gets quite nice at this section of the track. I'm gonna say enjoyable, and the same thing for turn 5. And actually, same thing for turn 6. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say enjoyable for turn 6 as well. And actually, same thing for turn 7. The hard left around the marina. I think it's decent. I think it's decent. Turn 7 is obviously trying to be a like tightening, very long left. It's trying to be a snail. It's trying to be a snail similar to China, because it starts wide and then it gets slower and slower and tighter. It doesn't work as well as China. It is not a banger in the same way China is. Which really is just down to do with what comes before it. Like, you got to be strategic with where you put these things. You can't just put a hairpin anywhere, and you can't just put a snail anywhere. So it's still enjoyable, it's still nice, but it's not a banger like it was in China. And the exit to this is nasty, and I want to say, the line is just weird. It has this kink coming out of the snail, which... Oh, it doesn't have a turn number. I was gonna get really annoyed just then. It doesn't have a turn number, but after turn 8, there is this then kink on the, I want to say, driver's right-hand side, which really like tightens up the exit to this to a point where it's just not fun. So I'm gonna say turn 7 is enjoyable. Like, I do like a snail, but then they ruined it. They boofed it. You boofed it, Miami. Mid. We then come to a couple corners in the middle of the straight here in Miami. Turn 9 and turn 10. Just give him a little look. Give him a little look. And then consider what this looks like on board in the car. Yeah, maybe in a lower formula, in a Porsche Cup, this is a heavy left-right-hander that you need to be careful on. In a Formula 1 car, they wouldn't even realize that they've been around these corners. So in Formula 1, and this is what we're ranking this on, not corners. You may be getting kind of annoyed with some of those placements. You're like, oh, well, there definitely are. If you drive here in a slower car, there definitely are corners. But we're not talking about that. You will notice that sometimes on like some racing sites, I want to say, what's it called? Circuit Info, the one where the track's always done in like orange. You'll notice on there, they don't actually use corner numbers. And that's because in different categories and different vehicles, some things are and aren't corners. Sometimes, like a long left-hander might present itself as 2 unique corners in a really slow car, but in a Formula 1, it's just like a flick of the wrist. And so sometimes corner numbers can actually just hold us back. And so while I agree that in other cars, 9 and 10 would be corners, and that would be fair enough, in Formula 1, they're not. You could just call this the Gatorhead Straight, or whatever the stadium's called, the Hard Rock Straight. But no, you had to put corner numbers in and you ruined it. We're not going to get fully into the philosophy of what is a corner, or specifically what is a straight. That is a deep intellectual chat for another video, I think. Because this video is going to be long enough as it is. So no, we're not going right into it. You're just going to have to take my word for it. 9, 10, not corners. They are, well, they're not straights. They're bends. They're bends. But bends and corners are not the same thing. I confused myself now. No. Sometimes some bends are corners, but certainly not all corners are bends. And not all bends are corners. It's a Venn diagram. It's the bend corner Venn diagram. It's complicated, okay? But I have a PhD in putting numbers on on squiggly things, all right? I've been doing it a lot, so just take my word for it. It's a complicated issue, sure. Maybe we'll make a video called What is a Straight? A lovely non-controversial topic. I'm sure people won't misinterpret that title and start brigading that video. I know it when I see it. I know what straight is. I know it when I see it. This is taking a turn. Anyway, Miami turn 11. We get to the end of this big long straight. We then have a heavy braking zone. I would say it's enjoyable. If nothing else, just because you can get fighting down here. I think they did well. Like, you have to choose your moment when you end a straight. And I think this one goes on for about the right length of time. So yeah, I'd say enjoyable. And actually the same thing, the long right-hander of turn 12, so that's enjoyable as well, because actually it allows cars to go side by side, which we have seen multiple times in Miami. So I don't mind that section. Turn 13 is then the left-hander coming out of the long right. I was gonna say mid, but actually, this is a nasty corner. This has like a nasty anti-camber. It can like throw your car out to the right-hand side. You kind of stab the throttle going in, bring it through, and then there's like a tiny stab after as well before this nasty chicane at the end of the lap. I'm gonna say honestly, turn 13, it's kind of ooh. It's kind of ooh for me. It's just negative flow, and we don't like that around here. As mentioned, turn 14 and actually turn 15 as well, making up the chicane just before you go under the underpass. This is one of the worst corners currently on the calendar in Formula 1. This stuff is arse, man. This is so garbage. Just horrible, way too tight. Like, no chance in hell of cars fighting through here. Not fun to watch, slow, grim, ew. Turn 16 in Miami is now the last corner before the long main straight, I guess it is. It's not you, but it's certainly not an enjoyable corner as well. It's got a wall on the outside, so it can induce some errors if someone goes a little bit wide here, but that's about it. And it's kind of artificial. You know, I like some peril if it's a really fast corner and there's some walls there. Think of like Tobac in Monaco, but that's interesting to watch. This is just, you just stuck a wall there just to be an asshole. It's mid. I'm gonna say mid. Turn 17 is the kind of hairpin thing down at the end of the long straight. I'm gonna say mid again. You can get fighting here, yes, but once again, it tightens on exit. And so it makes it quite tricky for cars to get side by side. It's not got a nice flow on a quali lap, not great. Turn 18 is then just another left-hander. Very forgettable, mid as well. And then the final corner in Miami is quite a fast right-hander to bring us over the line. Actually, you know, it's fun. It's nice to drive. I'm gonna say, surprisingly, we finished the lap in Miami enjoyable. Miami done the first North American leg of the season over before it even started, which means we now head to Europe. It's basically the start of the European leg. Obviously, we're gonna have Canada in a couple of races time, but we go from Miami to Imola, or more specifically, the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo Edina Ferrari. It's one of our first like old school tracks. I would say Albert Park is pretty old school as well, but this is obviously very well known by people. Lots of people love Imola. Some people don't love Imola, me. I think it's not great for Formula 1, honestly, but let's see how do the corners stack up. So the lap in Imola starts halfway down this kind of kinked straight. Turn 1 is often referred to as Bassa, and if you look at this as a motorcycle track, they do use a chicane here. We don't use that in Formula 1, however, so turn 1 is just the slightest of taps to the right. Not a corner! Are you seriously going to start your lap by trying to defraud us, Imola? That is an insane way to start a lap. Once again, yeah, back in the day, maybe this was a tricky corner to navigate, but it's Formula 1, baby. These cars are being blasted into the ground by all the might that the god of wind has to offer. Turn 1's not a corner at Imola. Honestly, it makes some of the corners in Jeddah or Miami look like hairpins in comparison. It's ludicrous to put a number next, like genuinely ludicrous. I don't know how you can defend that, honestly. Anyway, then at Imola, we come down to an actual corner. Turn 2, 3, 4 is Tamburello. This used to be one solid heavy left-hander. That was changed for quite tragic reasons, but we now have turns 2, turn 3, and turn 4, which all make up Tamburello, numbered Tamburello 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna say, enjoyable. These are enjoyable. They're not quite bangers. I will say the profiling of them for modern Formula 1 is not quite like perfect. It's a little too slow. Cars can fight through here, but it's often awkward. You often see people like backing off and then they'll make a move into the next chicane, which we'll talk about in a second. So fine, enjoyable, lovely stuff. We then come down to the second chicane in Imola, which is actually called Villeneuve. It's not a name that's used very often, but it is the official name for that corner. Yeah, Villeneuve 1 and 2. This is the corner that Tamburello wishes it was. This, I would say, are they bangers though? You know what? No, I need to go with my gut instinct. Villeneuve chicane. This is a banger. Like, there's a heavy change of direction here. You have to be really on it and incredibly tricky in the wet, but really nice flow through here. You have to be like just incredibly brave to get maximum lap time, riding the curves on exit. Both of these, this is how you make a chicane. Lovely stuff. I'm putting them both up in banger. We then run down the hill into turn 7, Tosa corner, or Tossa, if you're a fan of British culture. It's fine. It's fine. Once again, maybe the profiling not quite as fun as it could be for modern Formula 1. Enjoyable. It's enjoyable, right? It's an important corner to get right. You have to nail it through here to then get a good run up the hill, which is not the easiest thing to do. So it is important for a lap. I wouldn't say enjoyable. We then come through turn 8 and Imola, you are testing me. This is a corner just, but this one's borderline. Obviously, it is a kink leading into turn 9, and so it does register. It's mid. Actually, is it? Is it a proper kink? Oh, I'm torn. I'm torn, Imola. You're pushing me. You're pushing me here, Imola. Nah, not a corner. I'm calling it now. Imola, you've done it again. And I know this is not the last time you're going to do this to me. Give me more corner if you want to get a number, such as turn 9. The Piratella, the much less popular sister brand to Nutella. Beautiful, beautiful, heavy left. Be right on the curbs, coming on exit. Fast corner, sketchy corner, love to see it. Nice high difficulty, high skill ceiling, which is what we want in Formula 1. Turn 9 is a banger. We then have another kink to the left through turn 10. This one is a corner. Okay, I'm not going to put them all down in not a corner. This one is a corner, but once again, it's just to get from point A to point B. It kind of just has to be there to get between Piratella and Acqua Minerale. It's mid. It's nothing special. It is mid. But then, turn 11. The entrance to Acqua Minerale. You get to the bottom of this hill, flick it through to the right. Beautiful. Honestly, iconic. Very happy putting that up. Iconic. There's a reason that Imola has stuck around for so long as such a beloved track. It's because of this corner. Turn 12. Do we consider both of them to be? Yeah, no. It's a double right, and actually. Turn 11 wouldn't be as great without turn 12. They're both going in iconic. Acqua Minerale 1 and 2, both great corners. Acqua Minerale 3 is then a left-hander, kind of similar in a way to like Radion. It's the last bit and you have to hang on through there as the car is trying to flow itself like off in the other direction when you've just done a hard right-hander. It's not iconic. Is it a banger? I'd say it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. But really, Imola has blown its load. It's blown its Minerale load down at Acqua Minerale. They can't all be iconic, right? If everything was iconic, nothing would be. Turn 14, the outer variante is what I would call it. I've seen it called Grassini as well. Actually, I think it's called Grassini on official track maps of Imola, but I think most people would call it the outer chicane, the high chicane. It's enjoyable. The entrance to this, it's like a... It's a very tricky chicane. You have to really like jump over the curbs lots of the time. We see some people getting this wrong. We see some people coming down hard, breaking their car. I'm gonna say it's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable corner. The exit to this, if you're the exit to a chicane, if you're a corner, if you're an aspiring corner watching this video and you happen to be the exit to a chicane, it's a tough life. Like that's a tricky place. You've been given a hard lot in life, all right? I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. No one really likes the exit to a chicane, and turn 15, the exit of the outer chicane, it's kind of no different. I'm gonna say it's mid. Honestly, I think it would be nicer if it was a little bit wider. Obviously, maybe that would make turn 14 a bit easier, but I don't care. I think it's mid. Turn 16, once again, it's just a kink. Down into the bottom of this hill. It is a corner, yes, I'll admit, but it's mid once again because it's sort of just there to get between two places to get us up to the final two actual corners at Imola, Ravazza. Double left, beautiful. I don't think Ravazza is quite iconic in the same way that Acqua Minerale is, but it's certainly a very good corner. Turn 17, turn 18, putting both of them up in banger. I like it. I like it a lot. Gravel on the outside, lots of peril, beautiful stuff. As I mentioned, that's the last corner. That is the last actual corner at Imola. For some reason, there's another one on the map though. What is that? What even is that, Imola? What are we looking at here? Get in the bin. Nice. After Imola, we head out of Italy over the border into France. And actually, over another border into the Principality of Monaco, baby. It's the Circuit de Monaco. De Monaco? De Monaco? Je ne parle pas français. Maybe the most well-known track layout in Formula 1, apart from maybe like Interlagos or like Spa, Silverstone. But still, Monaco Grand Prix, very iconic. Very good? Question mark? I think as well, as we will see with Monaco here, obviously, the race at Monaco is not a banger. Is basically guaranteed to not be a banger. One of the worst races every single year. But that doesn't mean necessarily that the track is bad. It doesn't mean that every single corner is bad. And actually, Monaco has some very good corners. A track is more than the sum of its parts, and the goodness of a race comes down to so many different things, not just how good the corners are, but how good the sequences of corners are, how good the flow, like the order of the corners is, how good the, like, I don't know, the atmosphere around the track is. It's so many different things. And so while the race in Monaco is garbage, is hot garbage, basically, there are some amazing corners here. We start, of course, with turn 1, Zandvoort, no heroics, please. And I'm gonna say, this is a banger corner. It's the fastest you're ever gonna be going on corner entry in Monaco. Maybe to back is faster, I don't know necessarily. It's got a wall on the exit curb. It's a sketchy corner, drama down at turn 1 on lap 1. Beautiful scenes. Zandvoort, it is an iconic corner. It's a very famous corner. It's not in the iconic tier, even though it is an icon. But I will say Zandvoort is a banger. It's just a fundamentally good corner. You could put Zandvoort with the same elevation profile on basically any track, and I think it's just a good corner. It holds up. Corner number 2 at Monaco, Beau Rivage going up the hill. It is a corner. It's enough of a left to right to very much phase a Formula 1 car. I was considering not a corner for this, but no, it is a corner, and a mid one at that. But it gets us up to turn 3, Massenet. This is a banger again. Honestly, this is a fantastic corner. I think some people might think this is Casino Corner, because this is when you see the casino. But no, Massenet, the heavy left-hander before Casino Corner, great. Really, really nice. Really good flow. Really good, like, viewing spectacle to see cars going through there close to the wall on the inside. Lovely stuff. Casino Corner is then turn 4, the right-hander that comes after Massenet. It's not a banger. It's certainly not a bang. It's not a bad corner per se. Little weird with the like weird line on the exit because you have to go for that lump for the tunnel under the road. It's enjoyable. We started strong in Monaco, I have to say. It's going downhill, literally and figuratively. Should have done that the way. Figuratively and literally. We then descend down. We come into turn 5, Mirabeau Horta. Yes, Mirabeau Horta. Hi, Mirabeau. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is a bad corner. This is a mid corner if ever I saw one. It's not you. It's not that bad, but yeah, this is not. You did not cook with this one. You can't fight going up the hill past Casino anyway, but you certainly can't fight going through Mirabeau. And if you do, you just get cars that get stuck together. It's just gross. I don't like it. It's not the worst corner at Monaco, because turn 6 is the hairpin. The hotel hairpin, you may see it called the... Oh, what else is it called? Anyway, it has many names. I'll put them up on here. It's the hairpin at Monaco, maybe the most famous corner in all of Formula 1, the slowest corner in all of Formula 1. I do believe that the chicane in Miami is still quicker than this. Yeah, I know it's famous. I know it's famous, right? It's horrible. It's just nasty. Formula 1 cars should not be going around this thing. It's disgusting. We then come to turn 7, Mirabeau Basse, I guess lower Mirabeau, something like that. This is kind of nasty as well. It's an interesting challenge, like going over the curb on the inside. And this, I presume, was like a worldy corner back in the day, back in like the 1960s, when the cars were like glorified go-karts. I can see how this was a fantastic corner going over that bit of pavement on the inside. Nowadays, I kind of can't put it anywhere else. Like, this is a nasty corner. It's going down there. Just think about it this way, yeah. Once again, it's famous. If we made a new track and put the hairpin and then turn 7 on that new track, it would be widely regarded as the worst corners in Formula 1. I guarantee you. These are nasty corners. Maybe that's a bit, maybe Mirabeau is kind of fun. Mirabeau Basse. Yeah, fine. I'll move it up. But it's not going any higher than mid. It can go in mid, right? It's not as nasty as the hairpin. We have to make a distinction, but it's certainly not great. It goes uphill again though, because turn 8 is Portier. I think Portier is actually a very good corner. It's not quite a banger, but enjoyable. I can get on board of enjoyable. And then turn 9, the tunnel. This is certainly a banger. This might even be, do we put the tunnel in iconic? It certainly is iconic, and actually as a corner profile, it's very good. Very fast right-hander. I actually think, I do it sometimes. We could put the tunnel up there. I'm happy with that. I'm not taking any notes on that one. Turn 10, Nouvelle Chicane. Hate it, personally. Yep, actually, nothing else needs to be said. That's a horrible, horrible chicane. And actually the exit as well, turn 11, gross stuff. That's going down in U. We then come though to turn 12 to back. Very fast, in between the walls, flick it through to the left. Once again, incredibly famous. What a spectacle to see cars going through here, particularly in qualifying. Kind of thinking, it's certainly at least a banger. I'm kind of thinking iconic as well. I don't hate that. I think that's justified. Like Monaco is famous for a reason, and people get excited. You know, it might be a boring race, but the Monaco weekend still has some sort of magic to it. And I think that is to do with some of these corners. I think the tunnel and to back are those corners. And actually, the swimming pool as well. I do really like the swimming pool section, and I think it's an iconic part of that track. It's 4 corners. Which of them is best? Ooh, maybe even the first. Maybe, honestly, turn 13, the entrance to the swimming pool section, but actually Louis Chiron, number 1, and then the second chicane is more properly called Piscine Swimming Pool. I'm going to say Louis Chiron, the entrance to it, the left-hander, this is iconic as well. Monaco, somehow, pretty good scores on the board. The second part of this, as you flick it through, get right by the water's edge, it's a banger. It's not iconic, like the entrance is certainly the iconic part of that, but it is a banger as well. We then have Piscine, the entrance to Piscine, the right-hander, where we get these shots of the cars just like millimeters away from the wall. You can make an argument to call this one iconic as well. I am going to put it in banger just because maybe it gets outshined by the entrance into Louis Chiron. It is, you know, very famous. We get the camera shots. I think maybe the actual lines through Piscine are not quite as good as Louis Chiron, but it's going to go in banger. The exit to Piscine, not a banger. We get the shots of the cars going through close to the wall at turn 15. I feel like turn 16 doesn't quite do it justice, doesn't quite give the space on exit to make that like a crazy high-speed corner. You have to go through there a little bit slower than maybe you'd want to, and I think turn 16 is the reason for that. Is it enjoyable, or is it actually just mid? I think it might just be mid. Turn 17 is then just a sort of left-hand bend to get down to the Rascas. This is nothing special again. It's a corner that just kind of has to be there to get us between 2 places. Very much mid. And now when I look at this and I say that out loud, yeah, Piscine 2 is going to go up in enjoyable. It's certainly better than turn 17. Not a banger though, so that's kind of fine. The Rascas, very cool name, very iconic name. Mid corner, too tight, too slow, too tedious. Ruins the flow. Like coming up to the main straight in Monaco, don't like it. And the same thing, final corner, Anthony Nogues. It's mid, mate. It's not ooh, because like there's some skill involved, yeah, sure, but it's too narrow. It's guaranteed that cars can't be like right next to each other or side by side. Bit of a mid ending to Monaco there. Okay, Monaco done, 16 tracks to go. A mere mortal might be getting tired at this point. I've got energy for days, baby. Can't stop, won't stop. I guess maybe I can stop. I'm gonna have to figure out where to put all these, but let's do this. A quick count puts us at 147 corners so far, which means we're actually getting relatively close to the halfway point corner-wise. We've had some big hitters like Saudi Arabia with their 27 corners out the way. So, you know, we're getting there. Let's start to go through this thing a little bit quicker. Up next, the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Once again, a very well-known circuit in Formula One, just because we go there so much. Obviously, we used to go there for testing. It's widely lamented as, you know, not great. But again, I think that's the race, because actually, I really enjoy Barcelona as a track. It's one of those ones in the Circuit de Barcelona is in like every racing game ever. I'm pretty confident, and that's a fact. You can quote me on that one. Every racing game ever. Actually, I don't think it's in Mario Kart Wii. We start out down at turn 1. It's a right-hander, but a very rounded 90-degree right-hander. It's kind of, I want to say historically called Elf, obviously named after the oil brand. More recently, it's officially called Total. I would just call it turn 1, honestly. Get your oil sponsorships out of my face. I know what oil is. I've heard of oil. I have to buy oil. I don't choose to buy, and I just buy which. Stop marketing oil at me. Anyway, turn 1. It's enjoyable. It's not a banger, but it's a good corner. Cars can go side by side. Start the lap here. You get some turn 1 instance, that kind of thing. And turn 2 is kind of the same. It's nice and wide, which does mean we can get the cars fighting. And so I'm going to say enjoyable once more for turn 2. Turn 3, obviously the hard right-hander. This is a very famous corner. You got to just stay in there for ages, absolutely light up your left-hand side tyres. It's a famous corner. I don't think it deserves to go in the iconic category, but it is. It is a banger. Turn 4, here at Barcelona. Once again, I think this is a great corner. After you've like superheated your left-hand side tyres, you got to do another long left to get around turn 4. Up a hill slightly, and it carries on, but in a nice way. I like the sort of the dance through the balance through this corner. I think it's great. I think this is a banger. Also, beautiful. Turn 5. Not quite as special. Not quite as good, turn 5. It's then down a hill, and it tightens on exit once more. And I think, stop tightening on exit. Tightening on exit is almost never a good idea. Almost always just makes a corner worse. Turn 5 is a little bit awkward. Once again, cars can fight, but lots of time this can kind of like cut the fights dead that have been going on through 1, 2, 3, 4. Mid. Turn 5 is mid. Turn 6, once again, it's just one of those in-between corners, so it's going to have to be mid once again. Turn 7, on the other hand, this massive flick. Incredibly quick after you've accelerated down the hill through turn 6. This is a hot banger. This is a hardcore banger, as is turn 8. And actually, as is turn 9, Campsa. This is a banger as well. This middle section of the lap here in Barcelona is so good. Real nice. It's one of those things, doesn't matter how fast your vehicle is, whether it's like a lowly... Would they have like an MX-5 Cup in Barcelona? I have no idea. But if you did drive that here, turns 7, 8 would be difficult corners there. They're difficult corners in Formula 1. I'm sure they're probably quite difficult corners on bikes. I don't know anything about bikes, other than they have 2 wheels. But yeah, real good. Campsa again, very cool. If you sit in the grandstands up at Campsa to see cars come around there, last time we went to the Spanish Grand Prix, real nice, real nice. Turn 10, obviously a corner that's changed relatively recently. It's got bigger Caixa corner, depending on your accent, or which language you speak, I guess, if it's Catalan or Spanish. It's fine. I wouldn't say it's mid. I would say it's got a nice flow to it. I think the reprofiling probably is good, like for the best here. So I'm going to say it's enjoyable. I'm going to say enjoyable for Caixa. But like, we've seen better here at Barcelona. Turn 11, then, is this right-hander going up the hill. Wait, what the hell? It's just the second part of turn 10. I guess it's a double apex. It still counts. We'll allow it. But would I have just called this turn 10? Probably yes. Mid. It's just the exit to a corner. If you're just an exit and nothing else, just a corner exit, it's going to be real tricky to place any higher than mid. Turn 12 is actually quite enjoyable. Again, it's a nice flow. Very, actually, surprisingly tricky corner, deceptively. So I'm going to say enjoyable. I think it was good for the lap here. Turn 13, obviously, not new to MotoGP, but new again for Formula 1. We had the chicane for ages, which obviously was not a banger. This, on the other hand, I don't think turn 13 is a banger, but I do think it's good. I think it's an improvement. I like a high-speed corner with like a good flow. It's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable corner. And speaking of high-speed corners with a good flow, and one that's very consequential to your lap time around here and your ability to pass someone down to turn 1, the final corner, Catalunya. I think officially it's called something different. It probably has a sponsor. I don't know what, some random company, but it is normally known as Catalunya. Banger. It's a good corner. Well, I like it anyway. It's my kind of jam. So, happy with that. Bit of a speed round there. Let's continue the pace. I'm pumped! 9 tracks down, 161 corners under our belt. I'm in my stride. I'm on my flow. In my A game. This is easy stuff. 401 corners, child's play. Nothing. What is up next? After Canada, the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Don't know. Probably not a good way to pronounce that. Anyway, we're still pretty much in the European leg of the season, but we go to the Canada. You can't go there in the winter. It's covered in snow, so we have to go there in the middle of the summer, despite that being the European leg. That's why Canada is now. I don't hate it. I don't mind it. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. How many corners do we have? 14. Nice. We love low numbers. Old school tracks, you know, they don't mess around. We got far fewer fake corners around here. Well, Canada. Let's see about that one. Turn 1, certainly not a fake corner. The end of really the main like double straight thing. Actually, you know what? Cars often regularly fight down here. It's got a nice profiling to this corner. Flick it in. There's some fast entry. Actually, banger. Turn 2 in Canada. Senna corner, which you may not know. Is it doing Senna proud? No. That's a mid corner. We then have a bit of a run into turn 3, which is a very fast right-hander. I love this corner. I actually really like the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. I like some high-speed flow. I like a high-speed flow. What can I say? I'm gonna say it's a banger again. Really running out of space up in the banger tier, but you know, I just love a good corner, and we do have some solid corners. Turn 4, the exit to that. Sebastian Vettel would argue that you don't need to take this one. It's not a banger, but I will say it's enjoyable. Turn 5, the flick through the right-hand side. Again, a little bit forgettable compared to the other stuff here in Canada. Enjoyable. It's enjoyable. Turn 6, the sort of second chicane thing. This is the left-hander to enter that. This can be a little bit awkward, this corner. It could be a bit of a struggle with grip. I wouldn't say this one's a banger, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's enjoyable again. Turn 7, the exit of that. I feel like this is getting slightly worse. Nah, you know what? It's still enjoyable. You have to ride nice and close to the wall on the exit here, but it's still very fast. It's enjoyable. But I feel like we had a bit of a high with turn 3 and turn 1. And actually the high is back. Turn 8, the final sort of like left-right of Gilles Villeneuve. This one slaps. Turn 8, this is a banger. This is a like first ballot all-star banger. Doesn't quite follow through. I don't think turn 9 is quite as good as turn 8. Still a good corner, nice and sketchy over the curbs. Bit of peril, hitting the wall on the outside. I would say enjoyable. I think turn 8 really steals the show. Turn 10, the hairpin, also known as Le Pingle? Le Pingle? Yes, this is Le Pingle. I actually don't know what that means. I don't think that means hairpin. But please, if you are French Canadian, you can correct me down below. Whatever it may mean. This kind of sucks, man.
I can't lie to you. As hairpins go, it's not the best one I've ever seen. Ugh. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit too hot. It's a bit too slow. I know it's a hairpin. Hairpins are slow, but I think Canada turn 10 is maybe too slow. I'm gonna go mid. We then have Canada turn 11, the kink on the exit of the hairpin. Why is this here? This fully doesn't need to be here. I don't believe it adds anything to like the layout. Mid again. You were doing so good in like the back section. What went wrong? We then have I think you know what I'm gonna say about this one. Look at that. Where's the corner? Where's the corner, Canada? There's only one place for this thing. Oh, I'm gonna really injure my hand doing that. I need to do that less aggressively. Turn 12. Yeah, okay, it's a slight bend in a straight. It doesn't need a corner number. Just stop it, stop it, stop it. We've had, what, 2 tracks in North America? Both of them faking corners. I guess it's a cultural thing. Stop it. That's the only one here in Canada. They're not too bad of an offender. And we then come to a very famous part of this track, the Wall of Champions chicane. Technically, if you look at track maps here, you would really call the left-hander of the chicane, the Wall of Champions, because that's where the wall is. So the name goes on turn 14. The entry to the Wall of Champions chicane, I think is good. I think it's a good profile considering the straight it comes after. I wouldn't say it's enjoyable. I think it would be wrong to put it any lower. And turn 14, with the Wall of Champions, without the wall, I would probably have to say mid. But with the wall, and considering the history, considering the storyline, and considering it's the last corner on the track, so like in quali, people are really pushing right up against it. People do still regularly hit it. I think for the culture alone, not for the corner profile, but for the culture, we're gonna have to go banger for the Wall of Champions. I don't want to make Canada too angry. Right, after Canada, we head back over to continue the European leg of the season. We say au revoir. Is that how you say goodbye in French? I don't know, but I think that's French. We say goodbye, brackets in French, to Montreal, and we head back over and say Guten Tag to Spielberg, the Red Bull Ring. I love a track with a low corner number, makes my job real easy. No one does it better than the Red Bull Ring. 10 corners only, it's all you need. It's all you need. It's about quality rather than quantity here at the Red Bull Ring. And I think that tracks. They've got some really good corners here. Turn 1, named Niki Lauda. We don't see the names of the corners too often here at the Red Bull Ring, at least not in Formula 1, but it is called Niki Lauda, or the Lauda Lauda corner. It's called Niki Lauda anyway. It's good. I'm gonna say, turn 1s typically score quite high just because of the stories, because of the history. There's always been a crash. Every turn 1's had a crash. And this is really no different. But then again, I really like the profiling of this. It's nice and difficult, riding the weird curbs on X. I like it. I'm gonna say banger, honestly. Solid start for the Red Bull Ring. But then they ruined it. Lads. Consider this video to be an educational piece. If you happen to be a track designer, or you work at Formula 1, making those graphics and putting the labels on, consider this a PSA from me to you. This is not a corner! Get down there with your friends, you fucking straight pits. Stop pretending to be corners. I'm not having it. All right, turn 3, up at the Red Bull Ring. This one does have some names. Oh God, what is it called? Anyway, they're really not used very often. Remus, I want to say this is referred to as Remus, but like, when do you ever hear that anymore, honestly? So I haven't put it on. Good corner though, absolute banger. Loads of action up here. It's an interesting profile for a corner. But there's a penny on the floor. Ugh. Has that been here the whole time? Normally there's a sofa here. So I haven't seen the floor here for ages. Getting way off track. Just found a penny. A dirty penny. Oh, look how dirty it is. Ooh. Well, that's fun. I guess I guess it's meant to be lucky, but who knows? Anyway, turn 3, yeah, interesting profile. A bit of a sketchy one, nice difficult corner, we like it. Turn 4, once again, loads of fighting down here. Something about the Red Bull Ring, and you can just fight like the whole way around the circuit, or lots of the circuit. Anyway, turn 4 is one of those corners, loads of action, love to see it, get Albond, banger. Turn 5 is, we then bend around to the right after turn 4. I don't know if it's a banger necessarily. Enjoyable, it's quite forgettable. Honestly, turn 5. Once again, you have to have some corners like this, right? You have to get from point A to point B, but in isolation, yeah, it's mid. I'm not gonna lie to you. Turn 6, on the other hand, fling it round to the left. Lovely stuff. Really nice corner starting to come down this hill. Beautiful. Banger once more. Love to see it. And actually, turn 7 as well. Turn 7, basically the same thing as we get to the bottom of this descent. This is a banger as well. Red Bull Ring, how have you done this? Look at this track record. We've only had 7 corners. We've got 5 bangers. And actually, one of them wasn't a corner. So we've only had 6 corners and 5 bangers. That is an impeccable record. That is like, honestly, by this metric, the Red Bull Ring might be the best track in F1. Anyway, turn 8. Bit forgettable once more. It's kind of okay. Enjoyable, I guess enjoyable. Kind of makes sense for that. It's not as bad as, it's not as mid as turn 5. So I'll give it enjoyable. I think that's valid. We then come to the big boy. Turn 9, the seat of your pants, high speed, flick it through, pray that you don't perish a painful, painful, fiery death. It is called Rindt, named after Jochen Rindt. Again, not used that often, but it is called that officially, so put it on there. Excellent corner. This, honestly, Red Bull Ring turn 9, I don't mind. I don't even mind putting this one up in iconic. If someone asks you what's the best corner at the Red Bull Ring, your mind will probably go to turn 9 first, I want to say. Maybe turn 6, 7, but I would say turn 9's iconic. That's a great corner. Turn 10 kind of follows on from that. It's good. It's not as good as turn 9. Is it a banger? It's a little bit awkward at times, but like not in kind of the fun way. And it can make it difficult to, you know, cars to, I mean, you can't go side by side through turn 9 either. I don't know if turn 10's a banger. I'm gonna say it's enjoyable. Just split the difference. It's enjoyable. It's fine. After the Red Bull Ring, we then head over to the United Kingdom, and no bias at all, but the greatest racetrack in the world. It is, of course, Silverstone, the British Grand Prix. Beautiful stuff. 18 corners here at Silverstone. Every single one of them are hardcore banger. That's actually not the case, so let's get through this one. Turn 1 though, Abbey, nice, fast right-hander. Interesting way to start the lap. Yeah, that's a banger. Turn 2 then, Farm. Some people I've seen think that turn 3 at Silverstone is called Farm, like the hard right-hander. No, Farm is this like very fast left-hander after Abbey. Call me biased, this is a banger. This is a banger corner. It's just all about flow, baby. You gotta get in the stream, get in the river, join the flow. The flow is impeccable for not large parts of Silverstone, and Farm is certainly one of those parts. So that is going up in banger as well. We then come down turn 3, Village Corner. It's good, it's okay. Like, it's an interesting corner and cars can fight here. This is obviously like the first fighting of the track, kind of like the honorary turn 1 in a race. It's not a banger though. I'm gonna say it's enjoyable, but it's not a banger. We then have the loop, the left-hander. Once again, it's profiled in such a way that you can still fight. And I think it's a fun corner. It's very difficult. You kind of really like dancing the car through here, at least in the sim. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. But once again, the flow, just for the lack of flow, I would say. And kind of the same thing for turn 5, Aintree. If we had more flow, it would be good. And actually Aintree is kind of you just blast it through there to get out of this complex. So in a way, Aintree is a bit of a nothing corner, but it's a fun nothing corner. Don't get me wrong. So enjoyable. We then come down the Wellington Straight to turn 6, Brooklands, straight into turn 7, Luffield. Very tricky, long right-hander of this, very tricky to get into it. Alternate lines, cars can fight, very interesting. I'm gonna say bangers. These are like very distinctive parts of this track. I wanna say these are Probably some of the bits you think about first when you think about Silverstone. There's probably some other bits that are more memorable, but Brooklands Luffield, pretty solid. We then come to Woodcut. Woodcut is how you pronounce this. I don't think it goes as hard. Once again, this is just kind of the exit from that complex, but it is enjoyable. It's not mid, like it's fun to go through Woodcut. And you know, you can still have cars side by side here, so it's enjoyable, certainly. Not a banger though. No, it is a banger. Turn 9, Cops. Obviously, got some storylines here. One of the biggest storylines in the last few years of Formula 1. This is a hell of a corner. Hefty, full speed, right-hander. Take it flat if you dare. You know what? It's certainly a banger. I think if any corner at Silverstone deserves iconic status, well, would it be Maggots and Beckett's though? There's room for everybody. It's going up in iconic, and you can't argue with me. Cops is a great corner. Can you even see that up there? It's up there. Maggots, well, specifically, Maggots 1, Maggots 2, Beckett's 1, and Beckett's 2. If I could pick up the piece of paper. 4 corners, all of them decent. The name, Maggots and Beckett's, is obviously so fun to say that these always get lumped together. But I would say not all of these are created equally. We start off with Maggots 1, and also I should point out Maggots spelt here 2 T's, if it would focus there. It's a name, it's not Maggots as in like the little thing, it's a name. There are some people with called Mr. Maggot, as strange as that sounds. I will say, considering them all individually, the entry to Maggots 1 is good, but nowadays in Formula 1 it's just flat, bend to the left, and actually the first kind of corner here is Maggots 2. But this is the setup. This is the amuse-bouche to really get us going, get the juices flowing for Maggots and Beckett's. And so I don't think it could go any lower than banger, just because of the iconic status of this section. Turn 11, Maggots 2. This is iconic. I would say if we could only do one out of Maggots and Beckett's, it's got to be the first right-hander. It's got to be Maggots 1. Maggots 2, what am I saying? It goes up here with Cops. You know, if you really think about it, you'll realize that I am right, as always. Maggots 1, on its own, is a bit of a nothing corner. It's when you start to fling it round to the right, off throttle. Ugh. The flow, impeccable. We then come to Beckett's 1, the next left-hander. I would say this is not iconic, but it is a banger once more. So it's going to go up here with Maggots 1. And then the final corner, well, sort of the final corner of Maggots and Beckett's. The final corner of Maggots and Beckett's proper, but that section has one more corner, as we'll see in a second. Beckett's 2. I'm tempted just to go enjoyable. It's the worst of the 4, just because it's the slowest of the 4, really. A bit trickier, and obviously at this point, cars are getting a decent bit of separation with high downforce vehicles. Are people going to murder me if I don't put it in banger? What do I care? It's going in enjoyable. It's still a good grade. But in isolation, is Beckett's 2 a fantastic corner? No, it's not. We then have Chapel, which is kind of like the 5th corner in Maggots and Beckett's, just because it's so close to there. I would also say Chapel is merely enjoyable. I would say not quite a banger. If you picked it up and plonked it down into another track at the speed you go through Chapel, it's good. It's good. It's all right. I would pay money for it. Is it the favorite? Is it my favorite food? Chapel? No. It's enjoyable. We then come down the hanger straight into Stowe corner, another hefty right-hander, kind of at the top of a little mound. This is an undeniable banger. It's not iconic in the same way that Cops is, but I mean, undeniable banger. Great corner, good stuff. We then come down another bit of a straight, the Vale straight, into Vale, wouldn't you know? Vale, obviously, heavy braking zone. If you can stay close through Stowe, you can get cars fighting through here, but cars that are equal on pace will not be close through Stowe. It only really happens when you get a massive tyre offset in Formula 1, like a massive pace difference, so it's not actually a valid overtaking opportunity. Not for the win, I wouldn't say. I'm going to put Stowe in enjoyable. We then have turn 17. And if you're a purist on corner names, this doesn't have a name because 16 is Vale and 18 is the club. So I would say that turn 17 does not have a name. This is kind of mid. This is kind of mid. Obviously, there's some storylines here, like through goes Hamilton, yada, yada, yada. Kind of mid. Stick that in there. Avoid the pitchforks. We move on to the final corner at Silverstone. It is club. It is a fling through the right-hander. Avoid the curb on the inside lest you get chucked over into the Hamilton grandstands. The Norris grandstand is like behind club, I want to say. Club is a solid corner. Obviously, you have to nail it to set the lap up well, which I think is good. I think it's good overall for the lap here. Actually, I'm kind of convinced myself. I think this is a very fun corner. I'm going to say club, actually. I'm going to say club's a banger. I want to put it up in banger, which means the final tally for Silverstone is 8 bangers. But once again, if you disagree with me, you're wrong. You are wrong, because I am always right. That's how it works. It's my channel, baby. Okay. Silverstone means 12 tracks done, halfway through the tracks. How many corners? 1, 2, 3, carry the 7. 203 corners so far. We're over halfway. We're over halfway, but I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm flagging now. I drank multiple coffees going into this. I thought they would see me through. No one ever told me how many corners 401 corners is. So many corners. It's so many corners. Honestly. How long has this video been going for? Yeah, that tracks. It's okay. It's okay. Just gotta lock in. Dig deep. I wish that was a pint, but I gotta drive somewhere after this. We can do this. Track number 13. It is, of course, Spa-Francorchamps. It's Spa. It's a great place. We start off, of course, some iconic corners in Spa. Turn 1, La Source, mid. Sorry to burst any kind of bubbles you might have had, and you know, it's got the storyline and stuff, but as a corner, is it a fun corner? No. I'm gonna have to put La Source in mid. I'm very sorry, that might be sacrilegious to some of you, but it's just a bit like, it's just kind of there, isn't it? And it's very slow, it's kind of awkward. It's just a bit mid, isn't it? Anyway, turn 2, Eau Rouge. Obviously, Eau Rouge Radion, probably the most famous sequence of corners anywhere. But really? And also, just to clarify, Eau Rouge is the first bit, it's the left-hander at the bottom of the hill. Radion is then the ascent up the hill. Eau Rouge, in isolation, is not the best part of Eau Rouge Radion. I'm not gonna put it in mid, that would be insane. People would kill me. But Eau Rouge is not iconic. And also, I think Eau Rouge is maybe not even a banger. This is gonna get me in so much trouble. I'm gonna have to put Eau Rouge down in enjoyable. Just listen, okay? It's fine. It's what comes after it that's good. Eau Rouge is just kind of fine. Moving on. Turn 3, Radion 1. Maybe this is just Radion and the top bit you wouldn't call Radion, but I would say that both this right-hander and the left are both Radion. This, obviously, this is iconic, as is turn 4, the second part of Radion. Both of them together. Put your pitchforks down. It's iconic, okay? People call it Eau Rouge because that's the catchier name. Radion, this is the good bit. This the shit right here. Up there. In iconic. Is it off the top of the screen? I don't know. I can't see what you can see. Well, I can, but it's on a little more. It's small. Look, filmmaking is hard. My life is so hard, guys. I have to wake up so early, like 11 a.m. some days. And I have to work maybe like 4 hours a day. Being a YouTuber is so hard, okay? It's tricky. It's tricky. Just give me some grace. It's very small, the little screen I'm looking at. Maybe you can see those. I don't know. I'm waffling again. We go down the Kemmel Straight, turn 5, is Lecum, however you want to pronounce it. I'm going to say the entrance, the first part of Lecum, this is actually a banger. This is a very good corner. It's fast enough coming off this straight that you still get like some crazy minimum speeds through here. Cars can go side by side, and at these kind of speeds, that's very enjoyable. We get collisions here. It's good. Lecum 1 is a banger. The second part of Lecum, the left-hander, can kind of kill that off a bit. Maybe it's not the follow I would have wanted. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't bang like the entry of Lecum 1, I guess you'd call it. Turn 7 is Malmedy. Some people would say this is still part of Lecum. I disagree, you are wrong, this is called Malmedy. It's enjoyable once more. The right-handers, you start to go down this little bit of a hill. You know, it's good. It's not a banger, it is good, and I've run out of wall. It's too many enjoyable corners. I guess I could, do I just use that wall? I guess that's what we're doing now. I think we just shift this over, spin this around, get that ooh. Yes. I realize now looking at this that I put the first corners of Suzuka too high up, but they are there. You're just gonna have to trust me. We continue. We have more wall. We continue. Let's get it going. Turn 8. I would call this one Rivage. If I put the monitor up, I would call it Rivage, but it's called Bruxelles as well. Both of these equally good names, so I put them both. I'm thinking mid. I just find it to be a very awkward corner, and the excitement going down the Kemmel Straight and through Lake Como is kind of ended at this point. It's just a 180. It's just a big glorified hairpin. It's a very weird, awkward corner off camber. It's kind of slow for what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Okay, I'm forced to do this. Rivage is mid. Turn 9, no name corner, is actually a very good corner. I do like this one a lot. I am thinking enjoyable. It doesn't quite bang, but maybe that's just it being overshadowed by other stuff, because it obviously comes immediately before turn 10, the start of Poo 1. Fantastic, iconic, no less than iconic. An all-timer. In a way, you can make an argument it's better than Radeon. I didn't say that, but one could say it's better than Radeon. But I think Eau Rouge Radeon is more famous. Poo 1 slaps though. Great, fantastic corner. Love to see it. Turn 11 is the second part of Poo 1. It's a banger. I feel like the first one is better. The second one is maybe slightly less difficult. Like Poo 1 is really when you're on the edge of your seat, but it's still a banger. We then come down to the Fanya chicane, or as some Belgian people call it, Piff Paff. I've refused to put that on here because it's just a silly name. It's a very silly name. I'm gonna say, actually, this might surprise you. I'm gonna say this is a banger as well. I think the Fanya chicane is good, and you get a lot of action down here. And it's just a nicely profiled corner. The second part of that is a bit more generico. It's still good, so I'm still thinking enjoyable, but it's not quite the banger that the entry is. And kind of the same thing for like Campus, Corner, you might call this one Stavolo. The location of Stavolo remains a mystery. Like any track map of Spa puts it in a different place. I would call this Campus Corner, but many places would call this Stavolo. It's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable corner, but once again, like, not every corner is the best corner on the track. It's overshadowed. Corners like this are good, but they're overshadowed. And so I think it merely registers as being enjoyable. And actually the same thing for turn 15, Paul Frere, or Stavolo, depending on who you ask. It's enjoyable again. Actually, I do think Paul Frere is a very good corner. Yeah, no, I can put it in banger. we can go banger. That's a good corner. We then come through Blanchimont, another kind of like very fast double left-hander, kind of opposite to Pouin. I would say the second part of Blanchimont is, because when you're going faster, it's maybe a bit sketchier, a bit harder to hang on. I would say that's the best part here. And so turn 16, Blanchimont 1, I would say is merely enjoyable. It doesn't quite bang. The vibes are off. The vibes are not quite there. Blanchimont 2 though, it does bang. I'm not gonna put this one in iconic. I don't think it's quite up there with Raidillon and Pouin. It's a good corner, but nowadays it can just be like an easy flat in Formula 1. It's a banger. We then come into turn 18, the start of the bus stop chicane. I'll say it's enjoyable. You know, you can get cars fighting here, you can get some collisions here. It's a very tricky braking zone, so some people will like go long, that kind of thing. It's enjoyable, I will say, not mid. This, on the other hand, bus stop 2, this is a gross corner. Like this is a nasty corner. Just no grip. Cars can still be fighting. I now have to put it in mid. Some part of me wants to put it in U, honestly. I feel like, just because it's on Spa, I feel like if I give a Spa corner U, some people are gonna hate me. I don't care what people think, I'm better than all of you. Anyway, bus stop 1 is enjoyable. Bus stop 2, I need to reach down like deep into my heart for this one. I've got to do what feels right. It feels right, I don't like it. All right, Spa done, 222 corners in the bag. Next up, we have the Hungaroring, the Hungarian Grand Prix. Let's do a little bit of a speed round here. Hungaroring has no names on any of the corners. First track behind the Iron Curtain, I suppose. No time for decadence, like corner names. They're all just called like turn 1, 2, 3. Makes it simple, makes it easy. Hungaroring is a very good track. It's an interesting track. It just doesn't get talked about as much in the European leg of the season. I think it's a shame. I think you show some love to Hungaroring. We're gonna kind of speed round this one. Just to save some time. Let me get my blue tack stockpiled. Let's do this. We start with turn 1. It's enjoyable. Heavy braking zone, widens on exit, you can get on the throttle. Nice line tune there, pretty good stuff. Turn 2, on the other hand, really nice long left, banger. Turn 3, fast right-hander, actually, also a banger. It does bang. It certainly bangs. We bang, one bangs. Turn 4 also a banger. That is a solid corner, a lot of fun, very fast, very nice. Turn 5, enjoyable. It's a good corner, it's a decent corner, it is above mid, I want to say, but it's enjoyable, it's not a banger. Still good. Turn 6, once again into this little sort of chicane thing. Ooh, that's like a low enjoyable, I want to say. Yeah, but yeah, it's still a low, it's not a high mid, it's a low enjoyable. We can still justify it. Turn 7, once again, very nice flow through here. I'm gonna say enjoyable. Once more. Turn 8, left-hander. You know what? Enjoyable again. Actually, turn 8 is a very nice corner. Turn 8 is very fast. And if we're talking about flow, honestly, turn 8 does kind of bang. Turn 9, the right-hander. We kind of got hyped up with turn 8. This is not as good. Mid, I think, actually. Turn 10, it kind of gets better again with the left-hander. I think it's enjoyable. Once more. Turn 11. Enjoyable. Actually, turn 11 is fast right-hander. Very critical for getting down this like short back straight. Very critical for lap time. Actually, no. Turn 11. It bangs once more. We doth bang. We stick that up there. Turn 12, the right-hander. Yeah, it's fine. It goes an enjoyable. Turn 13, the left-hander. A bit too slow. Maybe mid, I think. And then turn 14, slow again, but a long right-hander, very important for the main straight. I think for that reason, for its importance, it's enjoyable. No, Hungary done. We're not done in Europe. Zandvoort next. This is tiring. I don't know if it comes across on camera. This t-shirt is wet. I've been recording now for the best part of 3 hours. Oh, it's tough. It's real tough. Also, for some reason, some guy has turned up outside my windows. It's 5:15 in the afternoon, but my landlord has sent someone to paint the windows now? At 5:15? Why? I think it's a sign we need to do another speed round. We got to keep getting through this thing. Zandvoort, the Dutch Grand Prix in the Netherlands. I already said Zandvoort. This one. 14 more corners. Let's rattle through them. We start out with Tarzan. Full name, Tarzan Borscht. I guess is how you pronounce that. I presume that Borscht means corner or turn, but I haven't looked it up, and I don't want to, because Dutch is a very silly language. So I'm just not going to. But yeah, Tarzan, turn 1. Let's rattle through these. I'm going to say it's enjoyable. But then, turn 2 and turn 3, Gerlach and Hugenholz. These back. These are solid corners. Obviously, the heavy banking means you can carry loads of speed through there, really like ups the average speed of the track. Bangers. Both of these, bangers. Turn 4, Husenrug. What is this language? It's barely a corner. Again, we're just getting somewhere. We're not going that fast at this point. It's mid. Turn 5, Slottermaker. I suppose the guy who makes the slotters. Actually, this is enjoyable. That's enjoyable. And turn 6 as well. We're going fast enough at this point. These are enjoyable. Turn 7, Scheivlak. I guess is how you say that. Also a pretty good corner, very fast right. But then better is turn 8, Master's Corner. This bangs. This is a solid corner. Then brings us down into turn 9. Kind of mid. Not gonna lie to you, not very fun corner. Into turn 10. Very similar to turn 9, but maybe a little bit more interesting, more consequential corner for this run down into turn 11. Let's say enjoyable. Oh, we're filling up the wall now. We've got so much wall to play with. I mean, it's a door, it's a wardrobe technically, but it's flat and it accepts blue tack, so it's fine. Turn 11, Hans Ernst. Hans Ernst 1 is the name of this weird little chicane thing. It's enjoyable. It's very tricky, but in a way you can kind of get fighting down here, which is quite nice. Like, it's not the most beautiful of corners. It doesn't have the best flow of anything out there, but I don't mind it. I can appreciate what they were going for. I don't think it's a banger, but you know, Hans Ernst, decent job, enjoyable. Turn 13 is this weird little like flick to the right to then get onto the banking. It's nothing special, but it's fine once again. It's enjoyable and it's quite a tricky corner. And then turn 14, the banking, which I found out just yesterday when I was making these, is called that, Arie Luijendijk. Arie Luijendijk. Dike meaning dike. So I guess the dike there is called Arie Luijn, which sounds just like a name. Do they have names like people? Is that a thing? Netherlands? Why? Banger corner though. Very cool. Love a banking. Goes hard onto the back straight. Nice. And we're done with Zandvoort, which means next up is one of the big boys. This may have been one of the tracks you've been waiting to see. It is, of course, the Italian Grand Prix at, what's the official name? I don't know, but Monza. It's Monza. No, I'm out of water. It's so hot in here. My voice is going, but I'm in too deep. I can't give up now. Monza, turn 1, Prima Variante, and the second part of the Prima Variante. Not gonna lie, this sucks. It's not going in ooh, but it's going in mid. It's an infamous corner for good reason, because it's so tight. Everyone crashes, but lots of time not like in the fun way. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Monza turn 1 is going in mid. We then come to turn 3, the Curva Grande, or Biasono, Curva Biasono. I think that is the technical name that would be on posters at the track, but it's the Curva Grande in our hearts. Why? Because it's a big curva, a grande curva, if you will. We love it for a reason, because it's just very fun. It's going up in banger. We like it. And actually, Curva Grande then brings us through to the Della Roggia chicane. I'm going to say the entrance to this is also a banger. The first part, this is how you do a chicane, Prima Variante. Della Roggia goes kind of hard. I think that bangs. The exit to this doesn't bang. I wouldn't say mid, let's go for enjoyable for the exit to the Delle Roggia, which I think we can all get on board with, but that is certainly the better of the two chicanes. Ascari is good as well. The Prima Variante is the worst of the chicanes at Monza, let's put it that way. But you know, Delle Roggia is pretty good, but certainly the entry is better than the exit. We then come to maybe the most famous parts of Monza, the Lesmos. These are super iconic corners, very difficult, like very sketchy to get through, gravel on the outside, super important. These are great corners. I think one of them needs to be iconic. I'm gonna have to say banger, iconic. You would make the argument maybe that I could just put both of them in iconic, but I will do it where it's deserved. And I think Lesmo 1, whilst very good, is not as good as Lesmo 2. It's the very best of the best. The creme de la creme. The cream of the crop. Rise to the top. And sadly for Lesmo 1, it's not quite the cream of the crop, merely the thick milk of the crop. I think that's the end of that anecdote segue. Anyway, turn 8 is Ascari. Ascari goes hard, certainly. I would say Ascari 1, banger. Ascari 2, probably also banger. Ascari 3, banger. And then the final corner at Monza is obviously Parabolica. I feel like people would be annoyed if I said this wasn't a banger. I'm kind of torn between banger and enjoyable for Parabolica. You know what? It's an iconic corner. I'm not going to put it up in iconic. It's not good enough for that, but it's a banger. So all 4 of these to end the lap, bangers. Boosh. 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 Okay, Monza done, which means we are done with Europe. It is time for Baku. Baku City, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. A bit of a change of pace. Not gonna have any like dedicated tracks for a while. It's time for street tracks. Well, you know what? Actually, there's a mirror there. I just looked at it. I just realized this is pointing away from me. This is the noise. The noise going here. Noise going here. And this has been pointing away from me this whole time. Hopefully you can hear me good. Hopefully you'll be getting this good audio quality that you've come to know and expect from this channel. Surely this sounds much better, right? Let me put it on here. Oh, we can't be missing out on my thoughts on the multitude of 90-degree corners of the Baku City street circuit, can we? That would be a travesty. All right, let's go through this. We obviously start Baku with multiple 90-degree corners. Turn 1, the first of them, you turn to the left, 90 degrees. I will say, enjoyable. I think mainly just for the fact that it's a massive heavy braking zone off the long straight. But it works. It's good. You get stuff happening here. Enjoyable. You can obviously make an overtake there. The second one, while you can still get an overtake, is it as good? No. Mid. The third one, once again, bit of a longer straight. Overtakes happen once again. So I'm going to say, for that reason, enjoyable. Enjoyable. Mid. Enjoyable. Some may make an argument, I'm going crazy. But that can't be true because I've still got many corners to talk about. I'm not allowed to go crazy. I can't be going crazy. Would a crazy person do this? Would they? This is the work of a very sane individual. Really wish I didn't use all my water. I am at home, I could fill up the bottle again, but it doesn't work like that. I'm on the clock here. Time is money, and money is time. I have neither, because I spent all my money on printer ink. It's good though, it's fine, I'm not complaining. Anyway, Baku turn 4 as a right-hander. I think it's kind of mid, and then Baku turn 5, the left-hander into the slow section. It's kind of mid as well. Baku turn 6, that's kind of mid as well, honestly. Baku turn 7, the right-hander for the castle section, it's kind of mid as well, I'm not gonna lie to you. Baku turn 8, the start of the castle section. I do appreciate this as a corner. I think this is quite fun. Obviously, you know, some stories here, some memes and stuff. I am stupid, lovely. So I'm actually gonna say banger for this one. And then Baku turn 9, What corner? So you might be like, oh, it's the left-hander. You go through there and then there's another hander. No. Turn 9 is a right-hander. A right-hander? Where? Turn 9, what they call turn 9 is the barrier of turn 8. And you got the audacity to call that another corner? Get out of here, not a corner. Mid. Fraudulent behavior. Oh wait, no, I put the castle section in turn 8. Turn 8 is a banger. Turn 8 is a banger. That's not meant to be there. There was too many mids. There was too many mids in a row. Kind of confused me. I got a bit confused. Got a bit dazed and confused. Not everything's mid. Turn 10 on the other hand is a left-hander through the castle section. This is mid. Bonk. Lovely. Turn 11, we then get some slightly faster corners. No, we don't. Turn 11 is the right-hander coming out of the castle section. There's too many corners, man. I've been working with a lot of corners today, okay? This is just, it's mid again. Like, it's too slow. They're too close together. Stop putting them so close together. Turn 12, we get a bit of separation, slightly faster. Does that make it better? No, just not great. It's just not fantastic. It's there, it turned up. It tried its best. It turns out its best just wasn't very good. We then have turns 13, 14, which make up, and 15, which make up these like heavy right-hand sections going through here. I like these. And not bangers, but I would say enjoyable. Enjoyable. Lovely. Turn 16 then. We then come down a ramp into turn 16, the left-hander to bring us onto the enormous straight at the end of Baku. They call it 2 straights because they say they've got corners in the middle to get away with the like restrictions on the straight length. But realistically, turn 16, incredibly important. It's kind of a sketchy corner with the curbs on exit. I think it's kind of fun to watch. It's not amazing, but it's fun to watch. I'm gonna say it's enjoyable. And then we basically start the straight. But it's not all a straight. It's got multiple corners to it. We start that with turn 17. It's a kink to the right. It's enough that I will consider it a corner. Is it anything noteworthy? No. It's going in mid. We then have a couple corners that are very good. Turns 18 and 19, similar actually. Throwback to Albert Park. That was a while ago, we talked about that. Similar to that, heavy left, right, very, very high speeds. I think these are great corners actually. I am tempted to put them in bang, and I am, because I can do whatever I want. Yeah, turn 18, 19. I like these. I like, you know, huge, fast follow-throughs. Those are big boy corners. We like it. Turn 20 on the other hand. That's a straight if ever I saw one. It's not a corner. There we go. We then head out to the original night race, Singapore at Marina Bay. We've had more night races since, but this is the first one. A contentious race because it's long and it has a lot of corners and it's very slow. It's the second slowest track after Monaco, which means very long races, typically, at least in the last few years, races where nothing really happens other than people crashing. But it's got some interesting sections. Let's see. We start out with turn 1, and I didn't know this. Did you know this? Turn 1 has a name. It's called Shears. I'm confident that's not common knowledge. I really hope I don't look like an idiot here. Did you know that? I knew about the other corners here. Shears? Who's Shears? Anyway, it's enjoyable, along with turn 2. It's an interesting, like, high-speed flick to the right, left. Lots of action here, lots of storylines here, but it's good. It's good on, like, a general racing lap. It's not a banger, but it is enjoyable, along with turn 2. Turn 3, on the other hand, very slow left-hander. No, that's mid. Turn 4, you might think, is the heavy right-hander onto the like straight, whatever that straight is called, but no. Apparently, that's turn 4. If you are Singapore, we've had a lot of these at this point. You know the drill. We're trying to pad stats. I guess they wanted to get to the magic 400 corners. People want to say, well, I've got so many corners. I'm Singapore. I've got 20 corners. You don't. Just stop it. Stop it. We don't need it. It's not adding anything to the racing. It doesn't help our understanding of the track. Because someone you can understand Singapore starts with 3 corners. Very understandable. And then someone says, oh yeah, Charles Leclerc had a crash down at turn 4. And you'd be like, oh no, the heavy right-hander. And that's like, oh, he's boofed it going onto that straight. He's going to lose those lap time. What they mean is he clipped the wall on the exit of 3. That's not helpful. How is that helpful? It's not. Anyway, ran over. Turn 5 is then that corner, which is it's a consequential corner because, you know, it precedes a straight. So it's important. I'm going to say enjoyable. Turn 6, Singapore. I thought we discussed this. What are you doing? And you might think, oh, that's enough of a kink to what? No. Cars are going so fast at that point, the downforce means that is not a corner. Down there you go. Turn 7 is a corner, heavy left-hander at the end of this straight. You get stuff happening here, and it's got a relatively fun profile to it. I'm going to say it's enjoyable. Turn 8, hard right-hander. But actually, I will say, a bit of an awkward profile. Again, it's very tight around Singapore, and some of these corners works for that tightness, but some of them, the angles are just a bit off. Profile of turn 8, I'm going to say mid. Turn 9, I will say, it works. Enjoyable. And then we have turn 10, which used to be the Singapore sling, and is still referred to by that name, even though the sling part, the like spine breaker sausage curb thing is gone. In its current form, it's not amazing. Kind of like bottom of it, no, top of mid, honestly. But then again, turn 11, as we flick through and get towards the bridge section, I actually think is quite good. So mid, but then enjoyable. Can you even see? Do I need to start? Maybe I need to start going back. I'll start going back that way. All right, it's fine. Turn 12, I want to say is like going onto the bridge. I think it's an interesting section. And you know, it's tricky. It's got a good flow when you get it right. I think it's a good piece of racetrack. I'm gonna say enjoyable for this, but then when you come off the bridge, it's too narrow, it's too tight. Obviously they can't change that, that's a public road. But then again, just make a new road. The world is at your hands, government of Singapore. Pretty confident it's the kind of government that would just knock down some building. Build a new, actually there's a really expensive hotel there, I believe. Build a new road, widen the corner. Turn 12, enjoyable. Turn 13, mid. Turn 14 then, hard right-hander, but again, pretty awkward corner, that's mid as well. Turn 15, another one. It's a kink in a straight, but it's not enough. It's not enough of a kink, Singapore. I like them kinky. give me kinky. And this is not it. I have to do it to you. Why are you making me do this to you, Singapore? 3 corners. You're almost as bad as Saudi Arabia. Well, no, Saudi Arabia's got 7. Okay, no one's as bad as Saudi Arabia, but three non-corners is far too many. We keep moving. Turn 16 is mid. As I pull this fat squat, I'm just on my knees actually. Turn 17, I think gets better. Turn 17 actually, you get a nice flick through there. I want to say enjoyable, and then actually things start to heat up right at the end of the lap here. The last couple corners, the blue tack sticks in my hands, are really good in Singapore. I'm going to say turn 18, turn 19, make this double apex left. Turn 18, I think, is the more interesting part of that because that's like the real heavy corner. Turn 19 kind of registers as a non-corner for Formula 1 cars, but turn 18, I'm going to say banger. Turn 19, enjoyable. So let's get these up. 17 was enjoyable. 16 was mid. 18 banger. I can go in the middle. 19, enjoyable. It's enjoyable as well. We're getting there. Singapore done. How many tracks do we have left? 5. Wait, COTA, Hermanos Rodriguez. 6. Oh God. It's so hot in here. It's so hot in here. I mean, obviously, this 100% cotton t-shirt from MrV'sGarage.com is really breathable, but the condensation on the windows, the sweat that is soaking through my clothes. It's so hot. It's so hot. North American leg. North American triple header. We start with COTA. That's so close. We're so close. We can do this. Just 2 more triple headers. That's all we gotta do. Just two more triple headers. Who said 24 races is too many races? This is perfectly fine number of races in Formula One, if you ask me. Two more. Oh, I'm okay. I'm good. I'm gonna go get some water. Oh my God, that tastes so good. It's so cold. It comes out the tap so cold. Oh baby, I'm on this. I'm in this. Oh, I got this in the bag. I just need a second. I'm good. I'm good. There's so many corners. No one ever told me there were so many corners. How many have we done? 6 races? They got what, like 15 to 20? We must have about 100. I feel like there's some quite long laps. We've got just over 100. Just over 100 corners. I've been going for almost 4 hours. Oh my God. Oh. While I was getting the water, I looked up the Icarus story. Absolute bummer, guys. Bad news. It doesn't go. He flies too close to the sun and dies or something. Someone could make an argument that was a bad omen at the start of this video. But I don't even know what that word means, so it's okay. Just gotta rehydrate. Gotta stay hydrated. Gotta take the mic off for this bit. And the hat. I like that hat. Oh, I really want to do this. This is gonna suck ass, man. Oh, is it gonna land? Oh, fuck, at least it's cold. Oh! Let's wrap some corners. Yeah. Oh, we got this. I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling refreshed. Camera locked in. Microphone on. Oh yeah, baby. Where's the hat? Where's the hat? I need the hat. Well, I doesn't want to hit my t-shirt's a little wet now. I'm so ready. I'm more ready than I've ever been. I got this. I got this. Okay. US Grand Prix. Circuit the Americas. Let's get this. A little bit slippery. That's okay. COTA. Turn 1 at COTA. It's all right. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. I'll give it enjoyable. Same thing for turn 2. It's a nice fast right-hander. Enjoyable. Oh, they're going over the middle. Don't know how this is going to work, but we'll get there. Turn 3, then. Flick it to the left before we get to the S's. Not quite at the S's yet. Also, there's no turn names at COTA. I thought they would at least call them the S's, but no. Anyway, it's enjoyable once more as we flick it in. But then we get to the S's. And we start out heavy. Turn 4, turn 5. Left, right, left. Something like that. I guess turn 3 is the start of the S's. I've been chatting shit. Anyway, this is when it gets good. Turn 4 is a real nice, fast, long right. Turn 5, same thing, to the left. Similar to Maggots and Beckett's, unlike Suzuka, we start strong with a banger and another banger. Yes. Actually, honestly, these S's are kind of good the whole way through. Turn 6, banger. Turn 7, banger. It then kind of falls off. We have like another left, right, but it kind of slows down at this point. So I'm going to say turn 8, enjoyable. It's not mid, but it's not as good. And turn 9, also enjoyable to get out of that sequence. And then we come to turn 10, flick it over. It's enjoyable as well. And actually, you know what? Turn 11, the heavy kind of almost hairpin before the back straight. That's how you do a hairpin. That's how you do a hairpin. It's okay. It's enjoyable. 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 Nice. Okay, cool. We then have long straight into turn 12. Turn 12, heavy left-hander. I'm gonna say because you get lots of fights down here, this is also enjoyable, but we then slow it right down, and I'm not entirely sure. Turn 13, it might be mid. There's a lot of good corners here in COTA. Turn 13, just a bit too, yeah. To the right, yeah. Or you're right, yeah. I don't know. So yeah, turn 13, not great. But then turn 14, the second part of that double right, it picks up again. Maybe I'm just biased. Maybe I just like it when it goes faster. Me like when car go fast. Me like when car go vroom vroom. Me like when car go vroom vroom. And so maybe I just have a bias to the slower or the faster corners. I don't know. Is that something I'm going to address in this video? No. So we're going to carry on. Enjoyable. Turn 14, enjoyable. Turn 13, 13 in the middle. It's just kind of mid though. It's just kind of mid. Then we get to turn 15. Big, heavy braking, left-hander, but it works. If you're gonna do a heavy braking corner, turn 15, it works out. Like, cars can be fighting all through 13, 14. Harder to fight through 13, but it can happen. It works, and then you can get overtakes into 15. I like it, it's enjoyable. It's not quite a banger, but it is enjoyable. But you know what is a banger? COTA, turn 16, and 17, and 18. These are all bangers. And actually, the flow through there, so you're going nice and fast through into turn 19. And I'm tempted to give turn 19 a banger as well. Turn 20? No. Turn 20 is fine. Turn 20 is enjoyable. Banger, 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 banger. Enjoyable. Say enjoyable. Oui. Okay, COTA done. We head south. Mexican Grand Prix. Hermanos Rodriguez. Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, I think it's called. Lovely stuff. Bit of a weird track. Off on the Grand Prix, not fantastic, but we talk about it, we go. Turn 1, obviously huge long straight here. You get some fights down at turn 1. It's enjoyable. At times, it's enjoyable. We then get into turns 2 and 3 though, and they're called Moises Solana, as is turn 1. These are not as fun. Like, cars have no grip in Mexico, and people are sliding around here, and again, I feel like the apexes are too aggressive. Like, you could bring those in, like reprofile these a bit. I think these are too slow for what they're trying to achieve. Mid, honestly, mid. I'm going mid. We then have a bit of a straight before turns 4 and turns 5, the Ese del Lago. It's kind of mid again. It's not a great start here in Mexico, but I just feel like, yeah, sometimes you get an overtake here, but again, the profile of these corners, if you watch them like a hot lap, they're just not nice. They're just a bit off, but not in like a tricky, interesting way, like a Bahrain turn 9-10. Just in the sort of like, they're not you corners, but it's just a bit off. Turn 6, then after that, Hoquilla. I think it's better because this is a nice corner and this sets you up for like a good run through the S's here. So it's an important corner. I think it's decent in that regard. I can go an enjoyable. Then turn 7, we really start the S's. This section is called the S's, but I don't know which corners you would and would not consider the S's. I would say turn 7, no, is not one of the S's, but some people would. I haven't labeled any of them. They're just called S's anyway. It's a boring name. Get another name anyway. These are decent. So I'm gonna say turn 7, enjoyable. Turn 8, enjoyable. Turn 9, enjoyable, I think. Actually, turn 9 is like really, turn 9 is really on the edge of the grid. I like turn 9. I'm gonna say banger. Honestly, enjoyable, banger. Turn 10, the right-hander, as a police car goes past. Enjoyable, back down to enjoyable. And then turn 11, the final left of the S's. Enjoyable again. This is a good section of track. It may well be the only good section of track in Mexico. I'm not a huge fan of this track, but the S's are good. So enjoyable, banger at turn 9, then enjoyable, yes, okay. We then come in to the stadium section at Hermanos Rodriguez. We start with a basically 90-degree right in turn 12. There's nothing special going on here. This is a mid corner, honestly. And then into the stadium section, and while, yeah, maybe the vibes are immaculate with all these people around, these turns 13 and 14 are potentially the worst corners on the F1 calendar. These, maybe the chicane in Miami. I hate these with a passion. These are just awful corners in every sense of the word. Can't fight through there. I mean, I don't know what's going wrong with someone's car if you can fight through there, but it's just grim, man. Just not good. So, ew, turn 12, saving grace. Honestly, turn 12 has pulled out of the bag just to get into mid. Yeah, stadium section, man. I don't care. I don't care how loud the fans are. I don't care how good the fans are in Mexico. I can't drive on the fans. Apparently there's laws against that. So it's going in ew. To clarify, turn 13 is the heavy sort of hairpin in the middle of the stadium. Turn 14 is the right-hander. You might think that turn 15 is then the Peraltada, but no, Peraltada starts with turn 16. Where's that? Where's that? We've had the right-hander coming out of the stadium. There's not another one. Why do we need to give some exit curbs a number? You know where it goes. You know where it goes. Turn 16 then is the entry into the Peraltada. Peraltada really is labeled as 17, the actual long right. 16 is more like the setup to that. The Peraltada itself it's enjoyable. I wouldn't say it's a banger, because, you know, after the stadium section, there's absolutely no chance of anyone fighting here. So I would say it's important to give you a run down the main straight, but it's not that important. Honestly, Mexico just kind of sucks, man. But anyway, the Peraltada is enjoyable. Turn 16, coming out of the stadium, it's just kind of mid, man, honestly. I don't like Mexico. The track, I don't like Hermanos Rodriguez. I think it's bad for Formula 1. Just kind of mid all round. Did they have no bangers? No bangers. We then come to the end, or the third part of the America's triple header, and we have saved the best till last. It is, of course, the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. I was going to say Brazilian Grand Prix, but it's the Sao Paulo Grand Prix at Interlagos. What a way to finish a triple header. You can't have your dessert until you finish your mains. You can't have your Interlagos until you finish your Hermanos Rodriguez. We've got through that garbage. Let's go between the lakes. Interlagos. Turn 1. The first part of the Senna S's. Controversially, in isolation, enjoyable. You thought I was going to say banger, didn't you? No. But then, to make up for it, the second part of the Senna S's, and actually Cover de Sol, which is turn 3, both of these, obviously, bangers. Bang, a bang. We then have a rundown into turn 4. We descend, some would say, of the lakes. Descida del Lago, the double apex left-hander. This is a beautiful corner, man. Like, easily both bangers down at Descida del Lago. Is that true though? Are they both as good as each other? I'm tempted to say, turn 4, the first part of Descida del Lago, iconic. But, I think it might have drawn all the limelight, because actually, turn 5 on its own, maybe just enjoyable. Let's not let this detract from anything. Still an amazing corner complex. I'm not begrudging, I still really like turn 5. But I think if you put that somewhere else, it would just be a pretty generic corner. But the entry, turn 4, that is an iconic corner, deserving of me having to pop my Achilles tendon. I don't know if you could hear that on the microphone or not. Turn 6, the Ferradura, which means, I presume Ferra is like iron? Hard iron? Hard iron. Don't know if you noticed, I don't speak Portuguese. I don't know if that came across over the camera. Anyway, Ferradura, it's a banger. Solid corner, nice and fast. We love to see it. Excellent flow. Turn 7, Laranja. I guess it's Laranja. Anyway, the track used to be different and it had way more corners. And then this was a bigger corner. And then this is like a little version. It got smaller. So now it's the Niña Laranja. This is a banger as well. And actually, let's just go through it. Turn 8, We come up here. This sometimes has a name, but not always. It's like one of those ones that's not as universal, so I've just not named it. But anyway, turn 8, also a banger. Lovely complex coming up from our descent into the lakes. And as we rise, oh baby, it stays good. It stays good in Interlagos. We continue. Turn 9. How do you say that? Pinarino, I guess. The left-hander, this is a banger as well. That's a solid corner. Then we go up to Bico de Pato, a bit slower. While it's famous, while it's a well-known corner, I'm going to say it's just enjoyable. I don't think Bico de Pato is as good as the corners that came before it. So, banger for you, Pinarino, or however you say that. Bico de Pato goes down here. Turn 11 is then Mugulio. I want to say it's nothing special, honestly. Like, it's surrounded by so many good corners. I want to say turn 11, it might even be mid. It might even be mid. But, then we go to the junction, the Junkao. This is enjoyable. I'm not going to give it banger status, but this is enjoyable. But yeah, just ignore turn 11, right? You didn't see anything here. Because turn 12 is enjoyable. Turn 13, we now start this big, long right-hander coming up the hill onto the pitch straight. That goes hard, not gonna lie to you. That's an enjoyable corner. 14, Subida los boxes. Ascent, incline of the boxes, so like pit hill, bangs. I think that's the best part of that bit coming up there. If we split it up, yeah, turn 14 is the best part of that. So that's going in a banger. It's an iconic corner, but it's not going up in iconic level. And then the final corner at Interlagos, maybe once upon a time, was a valid corner for a Formula 1 car. Nowadays, it's just like the slight bend as you go past pit entry. Honestly, I don't know if that needs a corner number. I don't know if that needs a corner number in Interlagos. I think you might have 14 corners. You might need to look inside you, do some soul searching. Thinking it might go down here. Ugh. Okay, home stretch. Three tracks to go. 49 corners left. We're getting there. The final triple header, the Middle Eastern leg of the season. I guess Las Vegas is not in the Middle East, but last time I checked, honorary Middle Eastern leg of the season. We had Jeddah and Saudi Arabia already. Let's log in. Okay, we start out Las Vegas. The start-finish line is so close to the first corner, but then on any given lap, first corner is decent. It's decent. We get some fights there. I wouldn't say it's a banger. It's got a nice corner profile. It's nice and wide, so you can like make stuff happen. It's enjoyable. I'm waffling. It's enjoyable. Turn 2, you might think, is a long right-hander to then get onto this straight. No. But where? Corner 1? Formula 1. Also, the track map, the official track map, I got this from the Formula 1 website, is wrong if you look at the actual layout of the track. It's just a single bend. Turn 1 is just a single bend, and they've labeled the second half of it turn 2. You don't have a turn 2. Well, you do, but it's not there. Not a corner. Not a corner, Las Vegas, it's the same corner. Turn 3, what should be called turn 2, actually kind of slaps. I quite like it, actually. Gonna put it in banger. Maybe I'm delirious at this point, I don't know. And then they've done the same thing again. What, turn 4? That's just turn 3 again. You can't just label the same corner multiple times. That's not how this works. Turn 4, Las Vegas, not a corner. It's not a corner. We then get turn 5 after this little straight to flick it through towards the sphere. I think actually that's fine, that's enjoyable. And turn 6, again, the long left-hander getting into the sphere chicane, which I maintain should be called the Elvis chicane, but I tried to sell them my corner names, and apparently $75 million was too much money to just name some corners, which they've never heard of branding, never heard of marketing. Las Vegas Grand Prix, weak. It's weak, honestly. Anyway, these are both enjoyable. Las Vegas Grand Prix corner names video, go check it out. It's an absolutely banger video. Turn 7 is the first part of the sphere chicane. It's not even called that, it's just called turn 7. I don't know about this one. It's pretty awkward as chicanes go. It's very slow. I wouldn't say it's ooh because it is like a challenge at least. It's mid. It's mid. I think that's fair. It's certainly no one enjoys doing that corner, I don't think. Turn 8 is then the right-hander coming through there. I think actually turn 8 is not as bad. Weirdly, as I always said, tightening on exit is almost never good. Turn 8 is significantly wide. Turn 7 is very narrow, but turn 8 massively widens. So you can like get on the throttle very early. I don't mind that, kind of fun. At least we get to see the cars going kind of fast by this. I'm gonna say enjoyable, I'm gonna say enjoyable. It's a low enjoyable, high mid, but I'll take it. Turn 9, coming onto the sort of bendy, what's it called, Sands Avenue maybe? Honestly, this corner sucks, bro. This is a nasty corner. Horrible, horrible, kind of off camber, cars have no grip. You wanna set up nicely for this straight. You wanna maybe let some cars get side by side. No, not through turn 9. This is probably not a very memorable corner, but honestly, go watch it. This is a nasty, awful corner. I'm thinking either low, mid, or high ooh. I'm thinking maybe I just put it in ooh. There has to be one. I mean, there has to be one in this final triple header. Actually, no, I'm sure there's more than one. But anyway, that's going there. We then have 2 fast follow-throughs. I do quite like these because I like a fast follow-through, a nice bit of flowing, high-speed, cornery stuff. Not bangers, but enjoyable nonetheless. Actually, it's going okay for Las Vegas. I don't mind the Las Vegas track. We've only done it, what, twice? It's gone fine. It's gone fine both times. I think it's okay. Turn 12, I will say, coming out of that bendy follow-through thing and going onto the main Las Vegas strip, they nailed it. They really nailed it. It's a tricky corner, and we see some people making mistakes. I want to say Lando Norris maybe crashed out there the first time we had a race, or last year, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, I think it's good, and it's nice and tricky, which means there's a bit of separation when cars going into the straight if people get it wrong or right. I honestly think that might be a banger. I think it might be a banger corner. We ruined it though. You ruined it, Las Vegas. Boop. We then come down into the sort of triple chicane, the 3 apex chicane, to end the Las Vegas strip. Honestly, it's very tight. It's a bit nasty as chicanes go. I want to say the entrance into it is maybe too tight, and it makes it almost impossible to fight, which I'm going to have to give it another ooh, because if it was just wider, we could maybe get some battles going through there and towards the line, but it's not wider. It's narrower. It's all thin, like the weaned, feeble arms of a baby. And that's not a good thing to clarify. We then have the middle part of that triple chicane, which is just kind of mid, it's kind of forgettable. But then I will say, actually, the profiling of the end of this actually goes quite well. And you know, again, it's good for setting up on that run through over the pitch track. I think honestly, this could be enjoyable. And then our final corner, turn 17, affectionately known as Topgolf, as it's right by a Topgolf location. Who would have known? It bangs, I like it. Great spectacle on TV, people doing quali laps and crossing here to then go over the line. I really like this corner. I think it goes hard. Banger. 2 tracks to go. I can feel it in my bones. I can certainly feel it in my armpits and forehead and other parts of my body that I won't specify because they are drenched. They are drenched in sweat. All the windows are steamed up. We're almost there. 22 tracks down, 2 tracks to go. I feel like, honestly, Lusail sucks so much arse. I'm just gonna absolutely speed through this one. If you really care about Lusail, if Lusail is your favorite track, seek help, honestly, because that is everyone's entitled to their opinions, right? Everyone is allowed to have different things. The world is subjective. If your favorite track in Formula 1 is Lusail, you're broken as a human. Your opinion is bad. All opinions are valid except yours. All right, let's get through this. Turn 1 in Qatar. As turn 1s go, not great. Yeah, you can fight through here, but it's just like there's so many wide open, like, big corners here. And I like corners like that, but Qatar is too much of a good thing and it becomes a very bad thing. And turn 1 is not one of the best corners. Mid. Turn 1, mid. Turn 2, and actually then turn 3 after that, do kind of get it right. I would say those are both enjoyable. And turn 4 as well, we get to this square section. I'd say it's enjoyable again. C, I am at least fair with my rankings. Like, I don't like Qatar as a race, but like, I can appreciate a corner. I can appreciate a good corner. Turn 5 again, we get this like double right of 4, 5. You kind of swing it through and then go straight for a tiny bit and swing it through again. I like it, I like it. It's got nice flow. I would say enjoyable. Sadly, it kind of stops there. Turn 6, this quite heavy, it's not even that heavy, that's the problem. It's meant to be a heavy braking zone into this left-hander, but it's kind of just not. Mid, honestly. Turn 7, up at the top, basically just the same thing, but to the right, mid. Turn 8, it's just like a flick through to the left. I do like that kind of thing, but it's just a bit generic. It's kind of inconsequential to the lap. You could just have a straight line from turn 7 to turn 9, mid. Speaking of turn 9, swing it round to the right, but where's the challenge? Mid. Turn 10, left-hander. Honestly, maybe I'm just biased at this point. Mid, I'm feeling mid. It's just too samey. Qatar's too samey. There's no scenery. It's in the middle of nowhere. You just, what am I meant to look at? They're all the same corner every single time. Well, actually, turn 11's not. Turn 11's actually not a corner. It is either the exit of turn 10 or a bend in a straight. Either way, not a corner. Sticking that one on there. Turn 12, I think at this point you're going fast enough that when you flick it through to the right there, that is actually quite fun and it's quite nice to watch. I'm gonna say enjoyable. Turn 13, because this is kind of like a turkey turn, whatever it is, 5, 7, whatever, you know what I mean. The same as COTA, like a triple apex. This is good as well, enjoyable. It's not a banger like it is on some other tracks, but it works pretty well. Same thing for turn 14, enjoyable. We then have turn 15, coming out of that, you come here with a lot of speed. I will say it works better than the ones in the middle of the lap, enjoyable. And then we come to turn 16, the final corner. They could have done, you could have did what Bahrain did. You could have had what Bahrain had, but you had decided no. At one point, the English fell down there. Maybe we could pinpoint it. Anyway, mid. And then we come to the final track, the season finale, and the finale of this video. 23 tracks down, 385 corners ranked. All that remains, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. What the fuck is it? Yas Marina, I think. Yeah, Yas Marina, my brain. Oh my God. Yas Marina. Lamented by fans of Formula One as a bit of a downer to end the season, but actually not a terrible racetrack. Kind of good for other series, just not fantastic for Formula One. But again, it doesn't help that we often have finished the Drivers' Championship before we get here, so like, you know, people don't care so much. I think Abu Dhabi is kind of fine as tracks go. It's certainly better than Qatar, as you know. I hate Qatar. It's a motorcycle track, it shouldn't be in Formula One. Anyway, 16 corners. Let's get this. We start in Yas Marina, bizarrely, with turn 1. It's a 90 left. It's kind of mid. It gets better. It's not all mid here. They have done some interesting stuff in Yas Marina. I'll give them that. Turn 2 is not actually, the interesting stuff hasn't started yet. Turn 2 is mid as well. You get some stuff here. You get some people like making mistakes on lap 1, yada, yada, yada. But after that, I will say though, turn 3 is a banger. I've got to give it to Abu Dhabi. This is a great corner. You kind of go over a hill and then start downhill. Lovely. Compliments to the chef. Compliments to whoever has put all these ingredients in the pan and baked them for my pleasure, because they have baked them good, my good sir. It bakes them real good. What did I say? Banger, yes. Abu Dhabi turn 3, banger. Abu Dhabi turn 4. Really? Yeah, maybe in another car, that's enough. I'm inclined to say, quite frankly, not a corner. You had a good thing going there, Abu Dhabi, and you boofed it. Didn't need to put a corner number on that, but you did. You boofed it. Anyway, turn 5, the old hairpin thing. This used to be arse, but after the reprofiling, getting rid of the chicane is better. Obviously, in recent history, there's some storylines and memorable moments down here. Not a banger, but I'll give it enjoyable. It's important as well to get a good run down the straights. Turn 6, going into this chicane. This is awful track design. Like, it's just simple, tiny, simple things. The elevation change here, bad. The minor details of the profiling, bad. The apexes are too close together. The kind of designed minimum speed is wrong for where you're coming on the straights and the next straight after it. Honestly, this, along with turn 7, the second part of this, I have no qualms sticking these in ew. You could have had anything. You could have had anything in between these two straights, and even literally minor tweaks of like a meter or more to the apex profiles of those corners would make them so much better, Abu Dhabi. But currently, they suck. I mean, they get to choose what they want to suck. Who am I to say? Who am I to say what you should be sucking? But they suck something. They suck something, and they suck it bad. I'm done at this point, honestly. Like, you give me stuff like this, and you want me to rank it like this, like this. Oh, how good is that as a corner? How good is that as a corner? Oh, this tiny. It's the exit for turn 7. It's not a corner. I believe that's our final fake corner of the calendar. We've had a lot of fakers. What is that? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 17, 22, 4, 6, 28. 28 fakers on the calendar. Formula 1. We would love you without these fake corners. You don't need to spoon feed us more corners. I don't care. I don't care if Saudi Arabia has 27 or 18 corners. It sucks regardless. I mean, no, it doesn't actually. It's quite a fun race, but it's a stupid track regardless. Doesn't matter how many corner numbers you give it. 28 fake corners on the entire calendar. All right, next thing is a corner. Turn 9 at Abu Dhabi, now this big sort of spoon thing. And those of you, real ones of the channel, who saw my first or my second video redesigning the Abu Dhabi track to make it better, you will know that I designed this corner. The light went out. I designed this corner. If you watch my video and you see it's from 2021, just know it's from early 2021. They didn't announce the changes to this track. They built them in 2021. But they didn't even announce them until after my video, a few months later. I designed this corner, and no one can take that away from me. It's exactly the same in my video, exactly the same. I have been robbed. A thievery has occurred. Anyway, you may think that because I designed it, I would be biased, and I would stick it up in banger status. And you'd be right. You would be so correct with that. After turn 9, unsurprisingly, we have turn 10. Turn 10, yeah, it's just there. It's just there to get to turn 11. It's just kind of mid, honestly. But that being said, turn 11 at Abu Dhabi, I think, is an excellent corner. This is a very sketchy edge of grip right-hander setting up into a braking zone of turn 12, but close enough that you sometimes have to start braking in the corner, maybe similar to a Bahrain 910. Honestly, this is a banger corner. Nice one. That being said, now that we've set up nicely for turn 12, do we follow up with something good? Nah, no, not in the slightest. Mid. Following turn 12, we then get up to the hotel. I don't know what the hotel is called, but you know what I mean, the hotel. We go under the bridge. Turn 13. This corner's gross, man. This is just a horrible. It has like a weird lump on the apex, and so it's kind of off camber. Jumps cars through there. Slow. Ugh. Ew, I think is the right term for this. Ew. Yas Marina, you've already had 3. You've had 3 ews. At this point, it's not a coincidence. This is on you, Abu Dhabi. After that, turn 14. Obviously, some stories here. The Latifi corner, I think, enough said. Some of you will know what that means. Other than that, is it a good corner? No. It's just there. I'll give it mid. We then come to turn 15, very similar to turn 11. A sketchy right-hander where sometimes you've got to be like almost on the brakes while still going through this. I think this is delightfully tricky, a delectable, wonderful creation from the track design gods. I'm very much a fan. I'm also going to put Abu Dhabi turn 15 up in banger. It's tricky, but in the best possible way. And so guys, that means we have one final corner. Turn 16, Abu Dhabi. Sebastian Vettel, Du bist Weltmeister, cue the fireworks. We made it. We did it. Oh, I can't believe we did it. Do we end on a bang? Nah, it's fine. It's kind of all right. Yeah, I'll put it in enjoyable, it's fine. We done! Oh my God, give me the camera. 401 corners. It sounded stupid when I had the idea, but when I started printing them out and when I started putting them on the wall, it's even stupider than we could have possibly imagined. As we take a look through, I'll slowly pan you around these. I'm sure my hands are very shaky at this point in time. I'm tired, man. I'm so tired. That's so many corners, but 401 on the board. Take it all in, read them and weep. It's actually very satisfying. Honestly, you call me an artist. I can't believe we got there. I'm so shaky. I need something. I need like a water. Preferably in my mouth rather than in my t-shirt this time. Anyway, that is every corner in Formula 1 2025. Please don't change any corners for next year. Please don't add any new tracks. This is enough for one lifetime. Done. I am done. I hope you guys enjoyed this, however long this video ends up being. Next, back with your normal green screen programming soon. It's been real. I've been Mr. V. And that was Mr. C! You! Later! Oh.